It's today, Joey. All right, Katina Man, the Neil, they are coming up next. We probably have some more variables coming in because it looks like there's more comments coming out of the White House. We'll see exactly what happens. Got everybody on the ones and twos. Joey and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Dang it, Boomhauer. Yeah, like welcome back, everybody. Different market than when we left you guys with. As 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, we were just chilling out at some of the lows, and all of a sudden we get a little bit of talk out of the U.S. and we're headed back up. All right, you know, let's not. I'm gonna get right over to it because I literally had just reloaded the BM&R at the low.
Right now?
I'm not even making it up. I reloaded BM&R at the low in a consolidation. And then all of a sudden we went, usually grab a water, refill the water, go to the bathroom to come back on at 2 o'clock. And all of a sudden we have these potential peace talks, U.S. and a group of regional mediators discussing the possibility of holding high-level peace talks with Iran. Well, that doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world.
Oh, it'd be nice if they did more of that.
Yeah, peace talks sound like a good thing to me. That's a spike up all the way into VWAP on the NASDAQ. So let's just,
really?
Back?
Oh, God.
All the way back into VWAP here on the Qs. The ES, ES through the volume weighted average price. I got to log into the chat so I can see you guys.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Reload, because looks like we just got a fun kick back in. Like USO dropped like $2 just there.
Yeah.
In a little bit.
All right, we, just going back and forth with Tesla here. We're, we were just short and covered. We're short again here at 382 as we just ran that 382. We were actually long when we came back from the gym there. We actually did okay up to 382, and then we broke through. That we just had an extra piece there. And then we started shorting right now as we made a move back up into sort of this little level there. And then we get that news, which I'm just coming back, as Neil said, just back to the desk right now to figure this all out. So, maybe Tesla continues its move a little lower. We do have the short on right now for this name. And we just got to cover. Okay, we just got to cover at 20s there. So, yeah, let's just see what winds up happening. Short side right now, shorting right into here. Like I said, this was a piece left over. That was not a short. Right into there, and now we'll come back in. We just got that 25 fill there, so that's good. But we did get run at 382. That was our stop. It wicked up to 382.20. I said, let's get back in there as we try to, figure out this news. So Tesla's going to be a nice stock there today. We ran that early. As you guys saw, that little trade there, and we got out right there when it broke back down below 384. That little but that move there was our out. And we got out of that a minute ago. So we'll wait to see what happens now. I'm going to, we're going to fire up the news. We've got Adair's going to be here. We've got everything going on. We'll go through the rundown very, very soon of what you guys want to talk about. But yeah, we'll get into the chat, start answering some of your questions, and, get excited to see where this afternoon goes with more news, it looks like, hitting here.
Speaking of which, I should probably put my earpiece back in. I'm like sitting here, I'm not hearing any of these headlines that I'm reading.
I mean, I didn't hear anything.
It's literally sitting outside of my ear. It wasn't even plugged in. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's connected. And
I'm just going to refresh it. I don't want to miss anything here.
Look, let's be real. Like, this is the kind of market that we're going to be in. And so, you just sort of get accustomed to it, as mentioned with USO, if you happen to be trading energy or any names. But before we get back to that or get into the rundown at some point, guess what is back over $100? You didn't think it was possible. You can only keep Circle down for so long. Circle down 20% on the day, but the 100 level, the psychological level, it only took that headline to get this one back in somewhat to the upside. I hesitate to say back to the upside, but I guess it's made a bottom. $98 there. Circle down 20%, getting absolutely shellacked. What might have got lost? I think it got covered a little bit. I think the boys covered this, and I know what Dara had mentioned it. ARM was at a conference. He said they're going to make their own chips for the first time, and was bouncing when the market was weak, but this is now starting to lose a bit of the bid. Should be interesting. If they're able to hold VWAP, this could be an interesting one this afternoon. So ARM was in play because they had an event, but really I think we're going to be just reacting to the price of oil right now. I think if USO here, like you can see this pullback, this was on the headline that we just had, these constructive talks. If we reverse this move, hold here and kind of reverse back higher, and all gets back to the highs, I think the shorts will be fine, but I don't want to fight this all the way back in BM&R. So like if we break this consolidation, I'm going to hop out, wait for another opportunity. Heck, it could be all the way back at VWAP as far as I'm concerned. You never really know. But yeah, watch out for those oil futures. They're trying to creep back above VWAP. If they can't do that, I think we could be headed for another bounce.
Yeah, I'm going to try to hold on to this and see if we can get a little lower here into 381 for sure. Put a bid right there right now. And yeah, just as we had mentioned, sort of back and forth here, waiting to see where this news winds up going. Palantir, some of these names, and we'll talk about them all as we go, but that might have found that bottom again near 150 earlier today. So that was 150, 150 there. Really dropped like a rock and trying to battle back, and right now is at that VWAP spot. So Palantir is going to be a name to talk about. What was that? That RBNE. Robin Energy was a name that we looked at today. That was 250. And look at that, goes right up again into like a random 200 period moving average. I say random because we've already, like, we reverse split everything, so I don't know how good that is. But right there, that was sort of that 280, 290 area that we had got supported before we finally broke through. So nice little day there for RBNE today, just up 100%.
Rockin' Robin.
Yeah, it's rocking. And then silver, the missed trade of the day for me, but that's only because we really weren't here. When I left you guys, at 11 there, I mentioned, and I still had this up, and I was like, silver 63.50 short, right? That was the look. And that the high of the day on silver is 63.60. So, you know, between 63.50 and 64 short. So that's the opportunity that I missed right there. So I'm pretty happy with the way trading's been going today. But you know, if we can get back up into that 63, 64 area for silver, would be an area for me to once again look at. Tesla might be doing absolutely nothing here, man. We're still short 382. It's 50 cents in the money, but waiting, right? I'm bidding 381. Hopefully we do get a downside push over there to happen. And, you know, like we said, ears to the ground. Are still all these, remember before we looked at the IGV, and I was surprised to see that Palantir was #1 in that space. Oracle was up there too, as was Microsoft. So Oracle's still down that 4% here today. Microsoft, I don't know like why there's so many worries about this data center stuff right here. I guess that continues because downside is Microsoft. Microsoft right now breaking the shelf, really. I mean, 380, I don't know, like we kind of broke it up here maybe at 390, but there it is officially going down, 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 down. 350 might be where we wind up stopping here right now on Microsoft. But wow, what a destructive name this has been, man. From the top, I mean, even if we just use this as the top, I'm not even going to use that top wick. Let's just see what this says. 31% right there on softy downside. So yuck. Eventually, we're going to have to sit in there and kind of just like, you know, plug your nose and buy it.
And the Qs are what, 10% from the highs?
No, not even close.
No.
On the Qs. I thought it was 6 or 7.
Oh, well, I should say from the same point. That's like, you know what, like, because I think
no, even from the highs. That doesn't matter.
That's the right comparison to make. We went 637.
It's almost the same. It's almost the same high area.
So like 53. It's close, like 9%.
Is it? Is it that much?
Well, if you pigeonhole it right to the exact top, 637.
That is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's about that. It's
Yeah,
like 50,
8,
53
9%,
bucks.
yeah.
So it's about that.
That's right. Yeah, because
So
it was
that's
the
the
S&P was only 6 or 7%.
Yeah, that's a comparison to make. I mean,
31%. Oh man.
Microsoft, that's bad. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, not good. All right.
bad.
I think we're getting ready to have. Oh, there's Sharif. I was gonna say no. Sometimes is he always over that? Oh yeah, that's right. Because
He
Sia or
moved
Tehran.
last week. He usually was over my shoulder, and then recently.
Yeah. That Assassino's a crazy guy. Okay, we're getting ready to rock and roll right now. Sharif, are you ready? Yes, sir. All right, then let's go find out what #1 is on the stock rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Neil and Sean, the big boys, as they're known, they're locked and they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the stock visualizer is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite ticker every day on whatever social media platform you're on. TikTok, Kick, Switch, YouTube, we're on it all. Just make sure to throw in that $ followed by the ticker of your choice. Got some headlines coming in, but let's look at all 4 major averages. 3 of them are negative, at least the Dow or the ETF for the Dow, the DIA just went negative, but the Q's still down almost 0.2%. The SPY almost closing in on 0.25% here negative. The DIA is flat on the day, and the IWM a little bit higher than 0.33% on the day. Separately, we're getting reports now that the U.S. is claiming Iran has agreed to many of its planned points. This is being reported by Axios. Specifically, there was a 15-point plan that the U.S. shared with Israel to end the war. That is what's being discussed here. So we'll give you more information on that when we do get it. Tesla is the first ticker as decided by you. We brought you this headline yesterday with respect to a chip fab. Analysts are seeing this possible Tesla chip fab as a precursor to merger talks with SpaceX and XAI. We'll have to see if that manifests. Also, there are sales. We got sales from Europe yesterday. New car registrations for Tesla models grew nearly 12% on the year in February, up to about 17,664 units across the European Union, the UK, and Iceland, as well as some Icelandic countries in Switzerland. And then Wedbush coming in today, maintaining Tesla coverage with an outperform and a target of $600.
Okay, well,
I
mean, I'm on Tesla.
600.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I'm on Tesla right now, and I'm just trying to. Okay, well, we're bidding through 38, 381.10. Look, I mean, we saw it yesterday, and it just kind of like went crazy right there off the open, right? I mean, it was a really, really big move right there off the open. So I did have my eyes on it here today, and that move happened again, and I was like, what? Like, you know, it happened kind of without the market there, and you know, I've no problem watching this stock. I mean, I do know how violent this can get. So once it came up into 385, I just sort of waited for it to stop a little bit there. Once I thought 385 was maybe the high, we went short, and then eventually it was only a good trade maybe for 10 minutes or not even, and then came back out. Once it came back in, that's where I was like, okay, this is a super strong stock. You know, if the market can ever get going again, this might be a good spot to buy it, kind of like those pre-market highs or yesterday's closing areas in and around 382. So again, like to look back, I wish we had sort of the stock replay here, because I think we just bought VWAP down here when it came back in and around 382. And then we did get stopped out of one of our takes right here early, right there. So we got in, got a little out. It came rifling back down. We got stopped out. Then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try to hold this for a little longer because we know how violent this name could be. So, and that let me get back in a little bit less shares there, but let me hold it. And, you know, that's what I was talking about before. With this kind of violence sometimes in the market, it's not the greatest to use tons of shares because then you wind up getting stopped out all the time. Because, you know, your level gets run and you're like, oh, okay, well, I have too many shares I got to punch out. That's at least some of my problem. And then right now, we were just long off 380 again. So just came in here, noticing this right now that we've sort of been bouncing off of the 200 period moving average. That was all the way down there at 379.50. So that was probably, you know, the number one trade that I should have been on was this little dip buy right there. But we got stopped out at 380. Now we're trying to go short against 382. So we're already in there. We've been, we were short once, got stopped out right there, got it back in again. Like whenever we see those high wicks, I just try to, you know, say maybe one more time, and it does work for us and got right into 380. Like our best fill there is 381.15s. So well worth it on the risk to reward. We're going to stop out here just a moment of time, 10 cents over that. So the risk to reward on this last piece was really good. But it looks like we're going to try to break a little higher here. I still like Tesla today. There's a lot of volume right now kicking in. So I thought if this market did continue downside, Tesla probably on that break at 380 does find a home a lot lower. But right now it's kind of just hovering around. Not much happening in the market. So once we get stopped out, if we do, at 382, then we'll leave Tesla alone until we at least get to VWAP, which is 383. So.
Worth mentioning, the president's swearing in the new Homeland Security Secretary, and I would suspect that once that is done, you could get some, like, if there's any Q&A or any discussion, he might move the market. I don't know, but
that would make sense.
He is live. That's just how it is. Before we go back, the only thing I'll add on Tesla is, I didn't trade it today, but it's bullishly bearish. Like, I know we've made some lack of inroads at 385. You can see the resistance. But from yesterday's rally, crazy rally, today it basically dipped into yesterday's support, held clean, and broke out. So you have a good level. Let me draw it for you. You have a good level sort of in here, resistance to support, that as long as this holds, I prefer a close over 380. Obviously, there's still a chance to maybe challenge that 200-period moving average. So that's the way I look at it. Like, I feel as if it's holding the range where I like it, potentially for a breakout tomorrow. So I'm going to wait out. I said I'd wait if this consolidation broke on BM&R for the volume weighted average price. This is where we were shorting it earlier today, 280. It feels like it made the bottom. Now we have to see if it's going to hold the series of like lower highs into VWAP. Don't want to let this get all the way into VWAP for me. Let's see what name number 2 is and whether or not it is worthy of a cheer.
No, it's Palantir. Nice, Neil. Okay, all right. Down 3 1/3, but certainly off the lows, looking to recover here. PLTR, not a bad look. Today, this morning, actually, we got word that the FCA contract was granted to Palantir to combat financial crime. That was being reported by The Guardian. So they've been awarded a 3-month contract by the UK's Financial Conduct Authority to analyze sensitive internal data in an effort to combat financial crime, which is sparking concerns about the U.S. firm's expanding role in the British state, according to the report. Separately, yesterday, we got word that the Pentagon was going to formally adopt Palantir's Maven smart system, their AI weapons targeting platform, with long-term funding, guys. Analysts maintain a buy rating generally here when you average it out with $196.50 price target, down 3 1/3 today, though.
Yeah, but you know what? It's looking a heck of a lot better than it was this morning when it got beaten up. And one of the things that I know you were mentioning, for it to be one of the software, like the #1 name in the software ETF, it just goes to show, like, if you don't make assumptions about an ETF just because it seems logical to you, because I actually didn't realize that Palantir was #1 IGV. It is what it is.
Yep.
But for now, when all of those were bleeding this morning, a distinct bottom got made in Palantir. I like the fact that it's through VWAP without the market being through VWAP. The other thing is, we'll probably showed you a lot of charts that were under both the 200-period moving average and the 50-period moving average. Palantir's already made a bit of a stair step, hold a low, higher low, now closing above the 50-period. This is a big distinction. It's the first time it's breaking out the 50-period. And what happened today when it pulled back, it bounced clean off the 50-period on the daily. That low at 150, like in front of 151, that is the 50 SMA on the daily. So yeah, that candle looks terrible. Yes, this move back kind of stinks, but if you look at where we are on Palantir, at the open yesterday, you were chilling out at 153. It's at 155. So it's up 1.5% from the open this week. So it's up on the week currently. It's above VWAP, and it seems like it's a bit of a stair step to the upside. So whatever that was this morning, sometimes you can have, like, it's just the ETF is dying, so everything in it's going to be under pressure. If this holds on to 152-ish, it's still not looking too bad on that daily chart. So yeah, sometimes you got to put it into perspective. Maybe it just got wrapped up in that software turmoil, but it looks better on the chart than a lot of the other names in the space, right? Like, look at Microsoft's chart. Look at CRM's chart. Palantir, it does look better, even if they were all bad today.
I did, I'm just letting you guys know, I did get out of some, I was waiting for 10s, but I just took 20s there on Tesla for 70 cents. Look, the only other name I traded today was, and let's all cheer for Palantir. I was in and out. This was actually, and got to be honest, and for me, whatever, we wind up taking the L on it, but I thought this was strong. Like yesterday, it was really strong. So we did have a move there yesterday. It was up 6 or 7%. So I was looking for dip buys, man, and momentum continuation. So I had this written down on my list today as something I wanted to look at and something I thought I was going to get relatively aggressive with. And I did do that. Like, there was a move up right there on Palantir. It went to 162 and change. I mean, Neil just went over all this, so I don't have to do too much of this. But it came back in. I thought it was a good opportunity to buy in and around whatever this price was, either the 50 period or just the day's open. And then I said, okay, well, we're going to protect 159, which is sort of where we closed yesterday. And then once that didn't work, we lost it, and we just said, see you later, and got in and out of Palantir real quick, man. This was a couple minutes of a trade, and that was it. So, yeah, we looked at yesterday. Remember, the 159 was not a super solid area yesterday. It wasn't even yesterday's close. It was right into here. So there's the dropout, and it's a good thing that we did that because the rest is history, as they say. Trump is now speaking live. So to Neil's point, like, we got to be careful with anything that might spark the market. And so we were able to just, he's saying there's no leaders left and all this kind of stuff. So I might just, I'm going to get a piece out here, 74, hopefully, there it is. And just, we'll hold on. If there's any moves lower, fine, but I do want to get out a little bit. I mean, my stop is at 382. We've made money. There it is. We've made money on this trade already. But here goes. Okay, we didn't. Okay, I was gonna say we didn't get stopped out, but there we go again. So there's the stop out. We knew Trump was talking. So that was a good out, and there it goes. So we'll just go props up that at least we, made that last little out, and I'm fine with all of this. I mean, quick out there. Wish that it went the other way, of course. But there's the S&P 500 futures getting a pop up now. As we'll wait for more headlines to come through. That might have sparked out Palantir, right? I mean, this is part of what Palantir is about. And we saw yesterday their new platform there. It's like you just put in sort of the target wherever you're trying to take out, and it will tell you like its exact locations and what the intelligence is behind it and everything. So Palantir is going to be a key part of the U.S. government, I feel like, for a minute. So I like the stock, and the market does too, just not today, down 3%.
We'll get to Trump in a second. OpenAI apparently here, according to Bloomberg, is set to raise another $10 billion from three different sources, MGX, Coatue, and Thrive. This is being reported by Bloomberg, but I haven't seen it elsewhere. Separately, President Trump talking, as you guys noted. Here are some of the comments. We are having tremendous success in Iran. We are talking to the right people. They want to make a deal. The people that we are talking to in Iran want to make a deal. If anything else comes out, guys, obviously we'll bring it to you guys. But Robin Energy, RBNE, next on the list here, still up about 91%. Shares are higher after the company announced it is commencing a tender offer to purchase about 1 million shares of its common stock at a price of $3. Guys, I was involved in this one during the midday, topping tail candle in 250. What's the look?
I'm surprised this is not moving more than it is, but volume, this is what happens with volume. Like, especially given the fact it was an energy name squeezing, right? So when all of this craziness just happened, like we just had USO drop to 2 and change and then battle back like a full percentage point and coming back into VWAP. So there's been volume and volatility in energy in the last half an hour or so, and this hasn't done anything. What I'd be concerned about is if USO makes another push down and maybe loses the bid, if maybe something that the president says, sort of spikes oil prices down, let's just say, I'd be shocked if this was able to hold on to the bid for that long. Like, that would be what the shorts, I would assume, are looking for here. So, yeah, a bit surprising for RBNE, but, I mean, what are you going to do? It's above VWAP. It's done over 100 million shares. And just keep in mind, right, like the daily chart speaks for itself. I don't think this chart gives anybody any confidence to hold on to this for long periods of time. I mean, it doesn't for me, to each their own, I suppose. But yeah, I'd be more interested if USO were to break down, like the president could spike the markets and tank oil. This seems like it could be a little bit of a breakdown into and maybe past VWAP, were that the case. But you're going to want to follow energy prices. Because my take is that's the reason why, not that whole 3 million, like they're buying 1 million shares or however million shares at $3 or something. That's probably not why it's squeezing.
No, RBNE, you're sort of already looked. I was looking at NVIDIA here actually for a trade, and also new trade alert into the TQs right there on that spike up, trying to hold the 200, trying to hold out through $44, potentially a move back in. Even if we get into the 60s, I think that's decent. Right? I know that's only 15 cents, but we're only trying to risk 25 cents to the high end. So maybe let's put a bid out there, and then I'll go over and talk about that. So low 60s, we'll put a bid for about 15%. See if we can get that rate at 61. Yeah, and I mean, Neil just went over to RBNE again. Pretty good name over there. I wanted to see Open Door and just some of the other names. $5 again for Open Door. Yeah, down 3%. Good area for Open Door, I think, right there. Nice move back in. Seems like it's trying to barcode a little bit right at the 200 period moving average. We did have this discussion a couple of days ago about Open Door. I think it's relatively strong here. I mean, the chart looks weak. I mean, it's falling back in. I don't mean like strong as in, we need to sit in here and buy it. But if we can wind up holding this 450 area, we only had a couple days where we're underneath it. So I'll have to see, you know, let's look at Open Door potentially there on another, you know, Eric Jackson pump. Sometimes I feel like, you know, if you're not part of like that first little pump, like everybody gets really tired of it, right? I mean, let's take a quick look at AMC, and just as an example, this is now under $1 and really can't get going anymore. So yeah, so AMC, like, not the greatest stock up in here, that is for sure. So anyways, that's AMC underneath $1. Let's go on to the next stock.
Circle, guys, tough day. Down over 19% at the lows, about 18 4/5 right now. Here's why. The Senate is considering imposing restrictions on stablecoin yield and rewards as part of the new version of the Clarity Act. According to a recent proposal, platforms would not be able to offer a yield on stablecoin holdings in a way that's similar to a bank deposit. The bill, however, would allow for activity-based rewards. Just to give you an example here, Coinbase customers, they currently get a 3.5% yield on their stablecoin holdings. So the removal of that yield would be a significant, would be significant and would de-incentivize people from holding it. So guys, down 19% again is CRCL.
Was down 20. So, I mean, there is that. Like, it was significantly worse. Now, it's also like part of the reason why, like, I shifted from, you looked at what Bitcoin was doing, I shifted over to BMNR when looking short. Obviously, ETH, staking matters to them as well. But this had all the hallmarks of something that was looking like a very significant breakout. So unfortunately, you're going to get caught with a news headline and a technical, like, trend break. I mean, it's just flat out. It's broken upward trend, which was no joke. It more than doubled up in the last month, right? This is February 24th. Oh, it's March 24th. So it's not even like, it's exactly 1 month. And we're breaking trend. The only good news that you would have here is, well, you're bouncing at the last support at 98. So I don't know if this is even like one of those like 3-day rules, but it's bouncing at the spot you'd expect. I'd be curious to see if it can hold on. If it tries to do this mini V shape up at the 105, 106, look for that to be a potential key spot. This is the only place where it slowed down, was right in here, 104 to 106. And we had a bit of consolidation before it made another leg down. So I think if it gets up into that, I think the news isn't good. The stock had not been good. The long-term trend, okay, fine, it did break, but you're not really past like the 140, 150s. So I'm not a huge fan over here. It's only day one on this news. I think maybe if you can't get through 106, you come in looking for weakness over in Circle again. But yeah, disaster. Oh, and for those trading, I know Joe was looking at this. Like, there is if you can't short, there is like a reverse ETF that you can play just long to express the Circle short.
There's an ETF for Circle?
No, it's one of the. It's like a reverse.
Oh my God! Wow.
What is it? CRC.
Interesting. Everything has one of those now, eh? All right.
I actually think there's too many of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Circle has one.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Just real quickly here, I did get some more here. Remember, like, this could blast against. I mean, we're up to $44 here. I just thought, like, President Trump there didn't really give us anything to sort of hang our hat on as he was speaking there, but it doesn't look like that matters too much, as here we come right into VWAP. So maybe I'm just a little too early on the short, but here we go. We'll figure it out. He's in negotiations with Iranians, so who knows where that's going to go. But okay, maybe we get a little bit of a move down. I'm just going to Sure. Okay, what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, I want to look at Coinbase actually really quickly here. All right, quickly we'll talk about Coinbase. So we had that super chat last week, and it was up here near $200. And, that was basically where it was earlier today. Like, this is down 10% today. So, like, I know we're looking at Circle and everything, but like, Coinbase is just really off of a cliff, like, so much so. Like, last week's levels of 195, like, if you were looking there, it bounced so nicely off there right about 10 o'clock, went up to 190, I mean, not even that great, 197, and then it just, like, absolutely collapsed all over itself. So, definitely something to look at right here is Coinbase, as it makes a huge move to the downside right now. Coinbase down at these levels, I don't think it's worth picking up yet, but if you get into like this 160, just because we know how much Coinbase can go if crypto goes. Now, obviously with this legislation, everything like that, and that tweet and that talk, maybe it's not the greatest time to pick it up. So let it settle down. But if you get into this 160 area, I like Coinbase all the way down there. A couple of cover points here for the TQs. We did make another move here at 81. We took out some more, so that was a good trade back in as we doubled up and tripled up and everything. We got a good position on right now. If this takes O's, though, we're out. Getting lighter and lighter on the TQs, but we'll wait for 81s to come in here on the TQs. You could see the NASDAQ. Remember, this is a triple levered NASDAQ. So we just talked about there being too many levered things. And here I am putting my name on the TQs.
Well, it's the individual ones.
Yeah, I was really surprised that there was a Circle one. I mean, I know there's a Coinbase one.
Yeah, like there's
Palantir.
You'd think there's usually like a certain maturity level an equity would have to have before it deserves to have that slapped on it. Whatever. What do we know? It's good for it's just built for traders. I don't think we're through.
No.
There should be at least one more, and I don't know. I can't come up with something interesting for it, Sharif.
We'll find out in a second, Neil. Just to update you guys on President Trump's comments, restating that they are in negotiations right now with Iranians. He says that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as well as U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and other people are negotiating with Iran. He says, we are roaming free over Tehran, his words. Separately, there are accusations here that I've seen a couple of different posts about. Uber is being accused of tax fraud linked to its application policy. That's per Bloomberg law. The company allegedly knew applicants used other personal information. I'm assuming that's their drivers. I've seen a couple of people post about that now. We'll keep you updated on that. I did see Uber very much trading near the day's low. Last on the list, though, Aliana stock ripping higher today. The crude oil futures rebounded about 5% today after the 8% plunge triggered by President Trump's comments on Iran talks. The Italy-based natural gas producer benefits, of course, from Middle Eastern tensions, which drive energy prices higher. So this one was up into 862, guys, still above $8. Still doing the dance here. ANNA, up 50.25%.
In the dance? Yeah, I'd say so. This stock is a beast. Up 50 points. This is sort of the thing. We talk about this all the time. Actually, let me go here. Let's get brass tacks first. This chart is missing a lot of data. Anyway, ignore VWAP. That's not going to be right. But we just took out this lower high in BMNR. The market still wants to go, so I'm out. We'll slap the fail on it. But ANA doesn't have a fail on it. It's got to win. I feel like, when did we, you mentioned this one just before the open, right?
Yeah, Anna, yeah, one of us.
Yeah, because it was this and MG.
Okay.
No, it was MGRO. Is that the one? UGRO. So those were the two this morning, and both of them, when you think about it for you small cap traders out there, if you get one early, it's got increasing volume in the pre-market, it's trending up. I just drew this now, I'm like, whatever. Like, it's not like I was sitting here trying to buy this dip. Well, seriously, we're gonna jinx it, and now it's gonna break the trend when I'm trying to give it props. Okay, so anyways, the pre-market might give you that best opportunity. Look at the dip where it holds a higher low right before the open, and then right here, all it does is hold VWAP exactly at 930 for a clean breakthrough. I think when we talk about the gap, like what is a good-looking gapping trade, this kind of feels like this is the answer. Like that open is what a good gapper looks like. It tries to pull back into the open, still maintains a higher low, puts in another one right at the open, you get a breakout, and it's just pure follow-through. So Anna, it's not even like this is a day one. This has been going for the entirety of I guess, the war, I suppose. And it just made another breakout today. But I think the best, like what I take away from it is this is such a clean and good looking entry point right off of the open. Like it's a gapper that made its high in the pre-market, but when it came to the open, it was actually still bearish and then gave you a classic breakout trade. Now it could threaten to break down this trend line, but it's done so before, wicked underneath and come back in. So when I see this, if it's wicked and come back, wicked and come back, then if it wicks again and comes back above, you probably look for a long into that high for a potential breakout here in Anna. But that bottoming tail candle needs to at least resolve itself with a higher low to work with here. So ANNA, been a great one.
Yeah, shout out to Adrian there in TikTok. So thank you so much for the gift there in TikTok. Thank you, Adrian, for all of that. And so I've just flipped it up. We'll just go sirens up here. I don't know, man. They're roaming free over Tehran. You know, Iran seems to have sent in some negotiators here. I don't know. And we're just going to go long now. Right there, we got stopped out, breaking through $44. This was actually, it's a small hit because we were getting out at 81s and 80s there, so it really didn't give me too much money at all on that side. But now we're going to try to. I mean, I'm long now, and I'm just going to go basically against 80. If we break back down below, fine on this one. Like just lighter shares, just to see if this news story gets going back up to the upside. Let's go long on the NASDAQ now and see if it winds up working out right here, right now on the NQs. Is that Randy here?
It is Randy.
Randy, what are you still doing here, my guy? Is it car troubles or? No, okay.
Gluing stuff?
Gluing stuff? All right.
You don't smell that?
You were telling me that you were smelling. I mean, I know they're working on the. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say because sometimes it's a burning. You smell some burnt. All right. Let's go back over there. What you got for us? See you, Randy.
What I have for you guys, hi Randy, is LUNR. LUNR and watch here, the company reportedly expanding its lunar surface operations with a $180.4 million NASA CLPS award. President Trump is still talking. If there is anything of note, I will keep you posted. But yeah, Trump talks on watch, and so is LUNR. Back to you.
You know what else is going to the moon? Oh,
SpaceX?
well, no.
Is that IPO happening? Or?
SMCI.
Oh, SMCI. Okay.
SMCI now up 4 points.
Wow.
And then some. No, and then. And then, no,
Yes,
and then. That is an absolute breakout, no questions asked. It's holding trend. That trend line looks better on the 3 than it did on the 15 there. Yeah, get rid of that. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. But since the bounce off VWAP, this has been trending up. If it even tries to dip back into prior high, I know it was short earlier this morning, but this is certainly a relatively strong name. And remember, you can say whatever you want about the news. It's made a temporary bottom, held a higher low, and then broken out locally. So it's sort of cutting into this deficit. Well, okay, the last couple of days deficit. Let's try to ignore the gap here for now. We're talking about a bullish stock because that gap's still like 10 bucks. It's probably not going to close that gap anytime soon, but that doesn't mean it can't be a trender for this afternoon. It's not often that we sit here and say SMCI is one of the strongest stocks out there. Actually, we never say that.
Pretty much never.
Pretty
yeah,
much never
I was
say
going to
it.
say that's a good.
Well, 2 years ago we said it. Well, you say it all the time 2 years ago.
Yeah, SMCI. Yeah, SMCI was a good stock a minute ago, but we did have. Obviously, we did have all that corruption recently, and then the accounting and everything. So SMCI, it's gonna be hard, I think, to trust that. That's why, if you're looking for somewhere else, maybe Dell, if you wanted to get
I wouldn't
into
trust
the
the
server
long
space there. Yeah, it's funny that it's up 4%.
Dell's chart is.
I mean, dude, you got a Dell, so I mean, it's
Remember we're like, okay, bad for SMCI, good for Dell. Oh yeah, what's that thing up 6.5%, breaking out the highs? Dude, you've got a Dell.
Yeah, dude, you got to get a Dell.
And all it has to do now is see, like maybe it's just me.
I think everybody,
way more than
if you're our age, has owned, which is like mid-20s, has owned a Dell at some point. I feel like right there.
I wouldn't say the Dell was ever the best that I own, but
the best? No, I think they're one of the cheapest. Yes, Adara.
yeah.
Shout out to the day that President Trump told everybody to just go buy a Dell computer. That was fun. And DELL pop tire. I think that was at the Trump Accounts for Kids event, if I remember correctly. He said it a couple times.
Of course.
Shout out to President Trump and getting people to buy Dell computers.
Yeah, because Michael Dell donated all that $7 billion.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was just pumping that, which is good for him. I mean, it's what he should say. I mean, these guys are donating $7 billion into new, I forget what they're called, new accounts?
Trump accounts.
Of course they're called Trump accounts.
Well, I mean, what are you going to call it?
And there's also the Trump Gold Card, which is like everything, just assume it unless you know otherwise, that there's like a Trump branding element to it.
Yeah, I've applied for my Trump Gold Card right now. He's just trying to cash that $5 million check. Oh, they do? Well, Nicki Minaj is going to sponsor me, didn't she?
So I think that's like the idea is the show, like, or not the show, whatever, well, your workplace is a show, which is why I said it, but any workplace you have can sponsor you if it wants, and it can also do where it's like, a Passover card. So it's like you have it, and then the next employee also has it. But it's a pretty hefty fee.
Yeah. Brendan can pay for that. I mean, fee is not a problem. AOL. Joe wants to remember the good old days. You've got mail.
Joe doesn't know anything about AML.
Hey,
You didn't have the AML CD.
Joe,
you get the CD.
Bro, I had the AOL. You can only use the internet over the phone, brother. That's
okay, we don't. You got. Does he have his mic
I'm
on or
mic'd
what?
up, baby.
Oh, he's mic'd up. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Joe's talking about AOL.
In case you didn't know, Joe is the unk of the group around here. So been around a minute. There we go, man. Here we go. We finally got it. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, you're 100% right about all that, Del. Dude, you got Del. All right.
This is regime change, is what Trump just said. We can say this is regime change.
This is Regina. Oh, I was watching that movie the other day.
Now
Mean Girls. Regina. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm long. Like, the minute that Trump was saying they're flying Freebird over Iran, over Tehran there, there's no more leaders. They're now negotiating. JD Vance, this and that. Like, that was just a little bit of a better talk for me than the short, like reasons to go short. Better to go long right there. And it actually almost pretty much hit our target right there. I mean, my stop was always at 80, so right now we're just over 1-to-1. This is really my problem, is that I'm always looking at things with rose-colored glasses, so I'm always thinking like, this is gonna blast higher right now, but we'll wait and see if that does happen. I'm waiting at 44.37. This is a better than 1-to-1 trade. I feel like all the trades I get in seem to go roughly 1-to-1, and then they either just crash all the way back down and we give it all back up, or by the time it finally rips, because I'm too conservative, I'm out already. So we're gonna wait right here for 44.50s or so, get a piece out, and then see if we can run to the high side. Maybe we change our outs to VWAP or something, but so far so good here on what we're talking about with the TQQQs. And look, there we go, right back down again.
A bit more.
As it's coming back in again. So let's go over to Adara and see. I'm gonna get a piece out. Well, I'm doing it again. Let's go over to Adara and see if she has any more news on this story.
I do, and it's a doozy. President Trump saying that they're in about the best bargaining position they could be in Iran, but that's not like the weird part. The weird part is when he says that Iran gave the U.S. a, quote, significant prize worth a tremendous amount of money. It was oil and gas related. The gift was related to the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I have no way of clarifying this. I have no idea what the gift is or what it means, but President Trump claiming the U.S. received an oil and gas related and or Strait of Hormuz related gift from Iran with regards to their negotiations. If I get any more details or like more context on this, I'll let you know, but he's talking right now, so if there is more context, he will hopefully give it to us.
It's only one gift. Either it's open, the Strait's open, or it's not.
No, that's where you're wrong. The lady from Venezuela literally gave the Nobel Peace Prize. So you gotta, like, come on, Iran, you gotta come with something
and
more.
And it's funny, Trump, because he used the word prize here as well. So I wonder if it's like, I don't know if it's Nobel related, but the fact that it's the word prize, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, USO just bounced.
I mean, the market just went down. I almost got long there.
USO just bounced like a dollar change, almost $1.50 in here. This might be an opportunity. I was just sort of looking at what Boyle was doing. 115 area maybe on USO, but it's actually not causing much of a pullback. SMCI didn't seem to pull back on all of that. At least not a lot, but that's a nasty topping tail candle. I do not like that topping tail candle on SMCI. There's not much that I'd want to short, to be real with you, even though that's a short candle. What is it? Oops, let's actually spell that correctly. That's a bit of a trend break, but I don't like that either. I'm gonna go back to the well. SMCI does not seem to want to go down. If it holds the low, this could be maybe the spot to get in, but keep an eye. Oil breaks, USO breaks 115, and then we're right back to where we started in all this. This prize talk, I feel like that just seems like a distraction. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I mean, clearly the market's not. I mean, Adara, the thing is, we're lucky to have, live news as we go, right? And so she's literally hearing this. Yes, Adara?
Would you like more live news?
Okay.
Well,
okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll just mention it because thank you for the shout out. I do appreciate that. President Trump also saying that Iran did, quote, something good yesterday related to the Strait of Hormuz. I don't know if we're supposed to know what that is or if he's going to tell us what that is, but either way, something good apparently happened yesterday from Iran with regards to the Strait of Hormuz.
Still sounds of it. That sounds better than the prize.
I don't know what to think. All right, so for me, this all sounds fine. The only issue that I have with everything, and again, I have no idea what I'm talking about clearly, is just the fact that who's going to come out from the other side? I mean, it's very, very possible that everything President Trump is saying is 1,000% true. It's just, we haven't heard anything. Yesterday we got something from an unconfirmed Twitter account that had stated that, no, none of this stuff is kind of happening. And then today we're just getting a talk from President Trump. I just wonder where does it need to come from in order to get that confirmation? Because, I would have thought with this kind of a story, at least a headline here is, and I know, we don't know until we know, but this is something that's going to have to come out from somebody else other than the United States is my opinion right here, because the market's not really reacting. And sometimes you can look into, I'm going to get some out at 10s here if we can. We just loaded a little bit more near 44 here. I'm just going to look sometimes gold will tell the story. So that's coming back in a little bit. So that's good. Gold is known as a flight to safety. So if there is a problem, with Iran and so on and so forth, maybe gold wouldn't have came in there, but that's not a big move. Very, very, paced out move. And USO should have probably, with oil, we can check out crude itself, but again, not much action. We had seen a lot of action in crude over the last couple of days, and we had, some more serious notes about this. I mean, this thing, USO was over $124 or something at one point right into here. Now you're all the way back in. So it doesn't look like we're in calm waters yet, but hopefully if oil can make a move to the downside, then we would get a market appreciation. So for right now, it looks like oil, if anything, is going back up. We did get a little dip, and now you're back up about $1 on USO. And just to talk about oil, this is Brent. This is light sweet crude, not Brent oil. So this is $91, $92 a barrel, already closed at 230, so right there at the NYMEX. So there's the closing print. Downside right now on oil, but still up 4% on the day as we go. So, okay, good, man.
Just very quickly.
Yeah, go.
I know we have Brian, and we're going to get to him right. I really want to hear his opinion on Circle.
Okay,
Nick
perfect.
W. with a super chat here. Hey, Neil. ANET reminds you a lot of Tesla before it broke down. You decided to buy a 27, when in 2027, 130 put. Yeah, not sure exactly when, but you know what? Tesla, we talked about the Tesla breakdown this morning. Maybe it was yesterday. It could have been yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. It doesn't really matter. As far as ANET goes, it's holding the line very, very well here. And when you look at that 200 period, it's still really bouncing off it. So I would agree. It looks like you put in a lower high. Maybe you say you're forming a bit of a wedge kind of deal going on here, but it hasn't actually broken the low. And if you want to say it looks a lot like Tesla, I don't know that it looks exactly like the breakdown in Tesla. But for what it's worth, Tesla's already bouncing back up into some of that prior support. But I can't disagree with you on that take, Nick. I just don't think it's actually broken down just yet. But we know we have our good friend on. We're happy to see him. It's a Tuesday. There's market turmoil. Brian,
there he is.
We want you to impart some wisdom on us.
Yeah, as per usual. Are you able to do that, Brian? How's your day going?
I'm not able to impart too much wisdom in the world of all this crazy headline action. I don't know how to do that with an intellectual brain.
What about lowering shares? I think that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to trade the NASDAQ here with the TQQs, looking at oil, USO as well. I mean, with all this uncertainty, I think there's a couple things you could do. A, sit on your hands. I think that's sort of maybe what you were implying there. How do we make sense of some of these global headlines when they're popping in every 30 seconds, it seems like? Either find a position that you like, something off VWAP. I've tagged you the last couple days in some trades that we were able to find. Yeah, some trades we were able to find off VWAP. But what about that? Lowering your shares amongst uncertain times. I think for some of us older traders, experienced traders, I should say, not older, of course, like you and I here, I think that's a good advice, right? Lowering your shares and waiting for maybe your A+ setups instead of getting too caught up in all these headlines.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, what I've been doing as a swing trader is exactly that, lowering share size, half risk unit maximum, even quarter and third risk units. So you can lower your share size. You can sit on your hands, like you said.
Yeah.
You can find different markets to trade, or you can lower your time frame. And that, to me, has been the most sane thing to do, is to lower the time frame to more of a day trade approach and just kind of take the swings as they come and manage risk tightly.
Right, I think that's great advice as we continue to look over these crazy markets. Before we talk about oil and the futures, Neil actually has a symbol that's been pretty popular. We've talked about it before on this program as well. But Neil, what do you want to talk to him about?
It's got to be Circle, Brian. I don't know that anything has probably caught people's imagination, or at least in terms of momentum, than Circle, because this is it's exactly 1 month. They went from like 60, you got through 130, so more than a double up, and it's deciding to unwind all the way into 100 today. So I know you probably got some magic there for us, which I can already see on the charts, and I'm glad. We got so many questions about Circle. Love to hear your technical analysis on this move and maybe what it signals to you going forward.
Sure. The last couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, I spoke with Sean about this stock when it was around here, and we spoke about how it had the potential to run up to the anchor from the IPO, and that would be a place that we mentioned last week when it was hitting it with you, Neil, that it's time to tighten your stops. Definitely don't chase this thing. And we were looking at how well it had been holding this rising 5-day moving average. Well, with this is why I talk about the 5-day moving average all the time. When the 5-day moving average flattened out, then we made a lower low below that 5-day moving average right here yesterday. That was your cue to get out in terms of this momentum trade. Now it's getting the snot kicked out of it, and people who buy the dip at a 20-day moving average, for instance, have gotten annihilated in here today, thinking that, by the 20-day moving average, that was at 112. So this is just is a little bit of education. Like what I always talk about is levels of interest. When we see the market pull back to, I'll talk about the month-to-date anchor or the 20-day moving average, it means that when it gets down to 112, what you do is you look at a shorter-term time frame and say, is there any evidence the buyers are actually gaining control here? So if we look at this 1-minute chart and draw a horizontal line, at 112, the answer to that is there was absolutely zero interest in that level being held. It was there for a minuscule moment when it touched that 20-day moving average and just continued to get decimated. We're below the daily, the 2-day, 3, 4, 5-day VWAP. That's what all those are. So, where it goes from here, I would think that it probably, maybe it bounces up to the week-to-date anchor, suckers people in, then comes back down, and just kind of, if they don't scare you out during this, it'll probably wear you out and drift down towards the year-to-date anchor and the 50-day moving average. It looks like, this is the death of this stock for at least several months.
There's a term that you use, which is like guilty until proven innocent. Like this
Right.
one, I feel, look, if you talk about it from the actual lows at the beginning of the year, it proved itself innocent to a certain extent from that downward move. And now it's like, is it completely guilty again? There's probably some people that bought the IPO low breakout thinking, okay, well, if that's a firm bottom, and maybe you like the story, is there any case to be made that if you zoom it way, way out there, that there's any structure to be left for those that were long in the month? Or is this just, look, it showed you that trend break you're talking about. You should only care about if it can take out some of those anchors to the top side. Is there any dip level that you would like? How about that?
There is not. Not unless it does, what I kind of outline all the time. And when I'm talking about a swing trade, an innocent till proven guilty, I'm looking at a stock when it's above the rising 5-day moving average, it's innocent till proven guilty. Don't short this thing unless you're doing it for day trades. Just the opposite, when we're below that declining 5-day moving average, don't be a buyer of this unless it's for day trades. If you're going to day trade it, fine, just know your time frame. But what's most likely to happen with this stock in the coming weeks is something maybe along the lines of this, and it rallies up to the 5-day moving average, comes back down, crosses back and forth above and below, and maybe there's a squeeze trade opportunity somewhere over here, or perhaps it just drifts into oblivion and people forget about this and say, wow, that was a horrible idea. What was I thinking?
Okay, Brian, thanks for all that on Circle. Just real quickly here. A big one, I don't know if you like to trade oil futures themselves, if you like to trade USO, maybe none of these, or individual oil names. But how have you been sort of playing this move? And I know we talked about a little bit about this last week. I feel like we'll be talking about this all the time. But how have you been playing anything in the energy patch? I mean, I know potentially XLE has been a pretty good ETF to play in that space. And we talked about Chevron making the move up to $200, USO as well, or any of these little smaller names, BATL. Is there something that you've been looking at or what you're waiting for, any sort of signals you're waiting for in the energy space that maybe our traders can also catch you with you?
Sure. I mean, you have to keep an eye on crude oil right now because that's kind of the driving force in this market. So this is a 1 hour chart. So each bar is 1 hour. And this is right here, the gap up on at the beginning of this month. And this is the anchor off of that level. So what we also saw 2.5 weeks ago was the gap up when we really, when the war really got real, I guess you could say. We gapped up and pulled back and made a low. Then we started trading sideways in here, and this 93.94 had been a level of support. So, we've got this red anchor, which is from that open. The pink one is off the all-time high, the high of this move. And the green is this pullback low. So this had been this level of support in here. And this level of support broke just this week. And then we came down to the next level, which is here. So we've rallied from the anchor from the beginning of the month up to now, after breaking it, up to this level. The old phrase, broken support, tends to act as resistance. So right here, if oil remains below this 94-ish level, right, it tells me it's more likely to kind of start to undergo some profit taking. But if we see something that pushes it back up into this range, then this was a fake out, and that oil rally could be back on. So it's in this important zone right here. This is really, if I was advising the president, this is where I would say, now's the time to go do your manipulative tweets, because we're at an important level, and it would have to have the most impact here in terms of trying to push it up through this level.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar to that extent of the fact that although the technical levels obviously just broke it down, and thank you for that, we are still basically waiting around to hear any news stories, and at any moment any of those levels of course can get broken, but that's a good spot. Set your stops, set your alerts in and around those areas. So thank you, Brian, for that. Apparently Trump is now off the mic, so we are starting to get a little bit of a downside push here. If you come over to my screen, Andre, we'll just look quickly there. The future is now breaking back down below VWAP. I'm still in that long, but we will stop out if it breaks too much lower than where we are right now. Just was hoping that we'd get a little bit more of a bump up right there. All right, Brian, you gave us a couple trades in the last few weeks. Is there anything right now that's setting up more in Brian's world here? And by the way, this is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. We want to thank you once again for coming on the show. Everybody who's wondering, go check it out at Alpha Trends over there on X. We have Brian Shannon live with us every Tuesday in and around 2:30 to 2:45. So Brian, anything setting up as far as maybe you're letting your subscribers know, and you want to give us a little sneak peek on anything here in your world here?
Yeah, as I've been saying, I've been advising people half-size positions at the most. Today, I didn't have any what looked like good low-risk setups for the swing side. The best watch list idea I had was Marvell, MRVL.
Oh, what?
Nice.
So that one's behaving well here today. And,
that's one of my picks as well. Yeah, I'm loving Marvell. Why don't we break it down then on a technical stand of it, because I'm loving this stock.
Sure. The one thing that I don't like about this stock is on the daily chart. It's just so squirrely. We've got
Brian, I think the sharing screen fell off.
Oh, there. Am I not sharing? Okay.
You want me to give you a minute?
Apologize. That's right, because I was sharing the trading view for a moment. So here we go. Okay. So this choppiness of this stock is what really bothers me, in that technically we've still got these little lower highs and lower lows. So if it breaks this little high, I think it's likely to pull back in. Then you get a higher low when it goes. So, when you ask me, do I like something? I've traded at very small size today. It's done well. I took a third off as it backed away from daily R2, which I talk about a lot, which is, of course, the pivot level right here. But I just don't have any confidence in any stocks that I can say, hey, let's follow up on this next week, because by then, any of these stocks will have gone up 5%, down 5%, and back up 5%.
Yeah, I think we need, that is part of the problem, is the choppiness, and we did talk about that. We're already through earnings now with Marvell, and obviously as the market continues to digest some of the news there in the Middle East, we wait to let this whole sort of AI trade unfold, and hope maybe that will happen after everyone's focus is no longer on energy and whatnot.
It'll take a while.
Did you have anything else? Because we could wrap up.
No, it feels perfect, because I think there was the only kernels of strength this morning. Well, I shouldn't say the only. There were some other ones out there. It was like Marvell, AMAT, ASML, Lam. Like there was a few sort of chip names, and I think you have to try to find that, because maybe they gave us a hint, Brian, as to if we catch some kind of a bid. Well, we know 3 or 4 names that looked a little bit better than the rest that we should be sooner to go to or quicker to get to. So appreciate you giving that last one to us. Actually, maybe one last thing, if I could.
Sure.
I know you said you don't like all the headlines. And if you're a swing trader, it's crazy. Day trading, you can kind of navigate trend to trend intraday. Is there anything to be said from looking at some of these like headline shocks and developing like some kind of a pattern, like, okay, well, every single time Trump does something like positive, put a new anchor or something like this, and then maybe a pattern emerges from like the most significant of Trump's truths. Have you ever looked at any analysis like that? Because I don't think random polls from president is a normal kind of thing that we would look for outside of, I don't know, like the tariff tantrum day. Have you
Right.
done anything like that technically in the last
Not
couple?
really, Neil. It just seems too. Nobody knows what to believe, and the problem is we get a quick move, but then it's just as quick, it's taken away in the opposite direction. I can't show you actually one thing that I have on here. Let me just turn it back to TradingView for a moment, and I can show you what I've been looking at on a short-term basis for the what are the maybe more important markets right here, right now, which is the S&P futures right here, the NASDAQ futures, oil, and then gold. So what I have on here is blue is the new week to date. So this is Sunday night at 4 p.m. my time, and then orange here is the tweet from Trump that got the market excited Monday morning. So when I look at that, if it had a big move like this, not just these random little tweets, but the one with the biggest market impact is that orange one. And in so far, what it's telling us is that the sellers are still in control since that event. The average price has been coming down since that tweet in the S&P, in the NASDAQ, and in gold, what we see is that has actually been support here. But remember, we're at that bigger level, that 94 level on the longer term time frame for oil right in here. So it's just a giant mess. But in the short term, I have been keeping an eye on the tweet from Trump from Monday morning.
There you go. I think that's probably the thing. It's got to be obvious. It's got to be the most significant. And appreciate your insights. I can always put you on the spot there and know that you're going to deliver. Thanks a lot. That's Brian Shane. You can find him at Alpha Trends over on the X Machine. We appreciate you and look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Brian. Thanks, Brian. The best right there at Alpha Trends. Go give him a follow immediately.
And we're going right to it there, I believe.
Let's start here with a look at USO. I do have another oil headline coming out. Financial Times reporting that Iran issued a letter to member countries of the International Maritime Organization, and they said that, quote, non-hostile vessels will be allowed to transit the Strait of Hormuz. So some vessels are allowed, just the ones Iran is deeming non-hostile. Now, I also have an Apple headline for you guys. AAPL in focus once again. Whether or not this company is going to be introducing its Siri update is becoming a question. Bloomberg reporting that Apple's going to be unveiling what it's calling its Siri reset on June 8th. That's the date that we're set to have the keynote for the WWDC conference. That's, of course, Apple's annual conference. Here's a look at this headline again. Bloomberg reporter Mark Gurman, who is known for his coverage of tech, saying that Apple's planning this AI reboot for the Siri app. It's going to have an application there. It'll be a new look, and it'll also feature an Ask Siri button. Again, very likely to be unveiled at the start of WWDC 2026.
Thank you, Adair. We've just entered Power Hour, everybody, and obviously we've had a little bit of volatility. Just very quickly before we get into some minutes, Boyle, look, the market bounced. USO, you saw come to the downside there. So just essentially shorting some lower highs, and Boyle is going to be the name of the game for me. But I just want to let everybody know that, hey, volatility. What volatility? We don't see volatility. Sure we do. And it creates movement. And for sophisticated traders, that's opportunity, everybody. Beta Pro by Globex offers Canada's first and longest running suite of leverage and inverse ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple leverage bull and 3x bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 index are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedged, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian loonie. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy, objectives, and risk profile. So trade tactically, learn more at betapro.ca. Scan that QR code you see out in front of you. We want to thank them for sponsoring Power Hour. It'd be more of effect if I had a button that I could just hit the Power Hour. That's about to drop.
That would be more effective.
That was like 5 minutes ago. I can just try to say it, but
that was a good one.
I feel like we should have that button. I don't have anything that's like, well, what you don't want to get is this.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
That I have, but I don't have the Power Hour button.
I feel like I actually have emotional damage. So, but yeah, this market. And thanks to Brian for talking a little bit about oil there and going over some anchored VWAPs. I mean, I think it's important to figure out like where exactly your edge lies, right? And Brian's great dropping those anchors and really trust those. So we'll have to look to see if USO can break out of that. Okay. What's up, Joe? Yeah, thanks, Andre or Fabian. That was fun over there.
Finish your food, brother.
Yeah, what are you, his dad?
Yeah, worry about yourself over there.
Joe says, yeah, exactly. What was up with that, Neil, over there? That was interesting. Finish your lunch. Okay, yeah, just looking here, I'm starting to get a little bit antsy with this. Like, we could take 10 cents. We got out at 9s and 10s and 12s on the way back up. We got some out at 44 as well. We were able to buy the dip there in VWAP. I mean, like I was saying, I'm looking at all my trades. It feels like with rose-colored glasses, like I really think we can get going back up to the upside here, but making sure that we got out, and we got out of half. So I have 50% left right now, and I was just going against 80 there. So now, we're up. I mean, okay, I don't know. I'm going to get out of 10% at 05. There, okay, there we got it. On 05s there as it breaks a little higher through. You could just see that's a. Often, even though there's a lot of shares on there, like if you just put, so you don't even see 05s printing there, right? Like most of the time, you'll get the print because you're like the only legitimate share there. Like watch this run 06s here. See, it just ran 05s to the downside. You didn't even see any 05s printed there. It just goes back and forth. So it's like, watch, there it goes, breaks 05. Where are the 05 prints on here? So you would think there's supposed to be many shares, but there isn't. There's a lot of hidden liquidity here, traded in between the pennies, and also being pulled all the time. Sure, it's done 85 million shares today. So there's no doubt that there's a capability here of using unlimited amounts of shares. But just because you see all this volume here doesn't actually mean that that's going through. Like, you're not going to see like there was literally a couple, like maybe I don't know, 30,000 shares there. We just saw 1,000 share print. All right, I'm going to get out one more spot there. Well, that time I punched 05s. Now we'll just wait to see what we get. We actually got 0550 there on a break. Let's go check out silver. So I'm still waiting for 43.80 to break. If it does, then I guess I take that as an L there. All right, so silver, and obviously just waiting to hear if there's any sort of more news to come there.
I want to try something.
Then let's do
We have a new poll system that we can do here. So It's a custom poll. We kind of teased this yesterday. Actually, Sean teased this one yesterday, and Fabian's got this now built. So what do you feel safest buying today? Now, the way it works is each of these are numbers. So you're going to type in the chat the number of the one that you like. So 1 is you want to buy, I spelled that wrong, buy the software dip. So you want Microsoft or just anything in software 1. 2, stick to energy. Let's call it USO. Number 3, volatility is here. Buy the VIX. Get a hedge for yourself. 4, I'm feeling dangerous. You want to buy Circle. So don't type the ticker. The number of the one that you want. So just press 2, and I'll do the
start the voting. Yeah,
okay,
there we go. Start the voting.
And then we'll see. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
You see the blue coming in for 1. It looks like okay. Microsoft is getting it. Nobody wants to buy volatility. Should I put that in there?
People are loving Microsoft.
It's softy right now, absolutely dominating. I gotta throw a 2 in there. No one likes energy. No one likes that. It's all about Microsoft. So nice visual way of being able to do this, and that way we can get rapid feedback. It's really visual. Everybody can see it. I think. I didn't think you'd be able to call this like instantly. I thought it would be a little bit closer here, but it is flat out Microsoft.
1s, 2s, 2s.
Here.
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going in the chat. Thanks, Fabian. Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense to have it that way. That way we can have, and the reason why is again we can have multiple. In the chat, you can have like what 3 or 4. You can
get up to 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I can put 10 different things in here because obviously 1 through 9 and then 0 is going to work. So
10
we can get we can get really spicy. And I feel like doing this at the beginning of the day when we're going through like a host of names to watch. Let's just say, like maybe there's like a bunch of gappers and it's something per sector. Like there's a lot to look at. We can really start to narrow down what the viewers really think. Which I absolutely love. Get a little more nuance. On like a big earnings day, there's just so much more we can do. And thank you, Fabian, for that. Everyone's feeling feisty about Microsoft. Well, down 2 1/3.
Yeah, look at the chart. What do you think?
Well, the chart doesn't look good. I mean, there's nothing about the chart that looks good at all. But at least it's making a bit of a low. I feel like you had a wipeout day today for the software names. There's no other way to put it. That was software death at the open. Sometimes that is a good spot to look for a relief rally. Like how many times have we seen liquidity grab underneath and then we're at least back to the previous support level? I've seen a few stocks do that in the last little bit here. So it wouldn't terribly surprise me if you got a bit of a relief rally. I don't know if you want to say Microsoft is the best one. There's probably a few others out there that are worth it. This is a good question I just saw from Joe Schmo. Oh, never mind.
This is something, I think you might be right, TL Brian. This is one of my biggest issues is second guessing. Like now, I only have about 40% left of this trade because I just keep on like saying this is what it is. I'm still waiting for 20s. Sorry, I changed my, see, here we go. I changed my 20s to 13s. It just stopped at 13 actually. But there you go, to your point. I think you're probably right about all of that. I need to do just a little bit better on second guessing and just getting a little anxious about it. And like I said, maybe share sizing and things like that. If I had a little bit less shares, potentially for myself, I could see me maybe holding it a bit more instead of getting anxious of like, oh, well, here we go. Now we've got this profit. I better make sure we get out. But that's something that, even after being here 20 plus years, still got to work on getting sort of shaken out and position sizing and all of that. Okay, let's go back over to the big desk behind us with Adair and see what she's up to.
Interesting story in Amazon. Nothing really market moving, but I think certainly of note, especially given the sector that this catalyst is in. Amazon announcing that I'm seeing reports anyway, that it's announced that it's buying Fauna Robotics. So now this purchase will bring AMZN into the consumer humanoid robotics field. And we know the company did try to acquire iRobot. So you could potentially look at IRBT here. I forgot. I guess this doesn't trade anymore. So yeah, AMZN anyways, on watch here, buying Fauna Robotics. Back to you.
I think if you can give Tesla a push and get something going, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have, at some point, people are going to have these humanoid robots. It's just a matter of time. But it hasn't been good for Amazon. And the question, Joe Schmo was asking what's wrong with Netflix, and I'll get there in a quick little second. But because Adair mentioned it, this does look, I just did this because it looks cool, but it actually has an all-day trend that's setting up. And we're getting into, it's power hour, so we're getting close to the imbalances. You you get big cap tech maybe getting some buy imbalances, and you could break trends like this, and it happens to coincide with the afternoon yesterday. This could get above VWAP and do something fun. But it was Joe Schmo asking, like, what's up with Netflix? The market's above VWAP and bouncing. You've had a good relief rally, and we're just barely getting off the lows. Netflix getting the IGV that I don't know about, or something going on here? Like, it's kind of crazy how how much this is unwinded. Thank you for not being split adjusted chart. How much this is unwinded. But I would say I don't think it's all bad. Since that $100 pullback, you can do worse than the breakout was at 80 bucks. The top was at 100 bucks. The dip was to 90 bucks. You probably can see exactly where I'm going with this. 80, 100, bounce off 90. As long as 90 holds, and you bounce off the 90 level, technically 90 and a half, but as long as 90 holds, you're just still in the range. All we've done is give back yesterday's gains, which is not the end of the world. If 90 can hold, I think you've got a nice constructive level to work off for Netflix. It had to turn around somewhere after the Warner Brothers deal went to Paramount Skydance. Thought maybe it would break 100 bucks and get to 110. It just hasn't happened yet.
There we go.
I still think it will.
I thought Wendy's Tendies was a little bit wondering what we're talking about. No, man, I am definitely not short Big Bear AI. I wish I was. This is, if we're talking about our yearly picks, I mean, here they are right here. Both Neil and I own the absolute worst picks in here. We own BBAI, and they're just shot picks, right? I mean, we purposely, when we put these on, we talked about, the whole point of what we're doing. There's BBAI, Eli Lilly, and Marvell. Eli Lilly and Marvell kind of, can you guys?
Marvell's up.
Yeah, Marvell's up. Yeah, okay, there you go. Maybe you can zoom in a little bit. 12 and 16. So Eli Lilly, actually, this one I'm actually I'm not embarrassed about any of them, but this is more the one here that I'm like, what? Like down 16% in 2 months? Like, I didn't think Eli Lilly had that capabilities. Big Bear AI, I didn't even buy any more of this, but we did talk about that I did like it. It's just unfortunately at $6, that's where we had to put our bids out. We had talked about I'm long 420 in my account. So down here at 362, probably okay. Neil's picks, again, I really like this pick, but AVAV is down 47%. And again, I like it. I don't see any reason why that should be down as much as it is. And then CRISPR and FCX downside there. And then right over here, let's just go to the tracker. This will show you who's winning and who's losing. Right now, we have 3 out of 12 of us right now in the green. And that goes with Obi. We talked about Obi's Circle. Although here, let me click on Obi for a second here, just to show you, because the Circle is actually out of the money right now, 25%. BW there. What was that called again? Brixton,
Babcock,
Wilcox. What's going on, Fabian? And then this City is short as well. What's going on, my guy? Are you able to?
Yeah, I'm on.
Get over there. Yeah.
If you go to the tracker side, and then all the way to the bottom, you wanted the portfolio average.
Oh, right. Okay.
At the very bottom. Go to the bottom of the page.
Oh, like how much everybody? Okay, there we go.
Average.
Yeah,
we're doing really good.
Yeah.
You can tell, chat.
Shut up, Fabian. Down 7.5%. Down 7.5%. Well, Fabian, here you are down 13, my guy. And again, you kind of had bad luck too, because you picked silver. And silver there with AG has been, down there. And then Bitcoin down and Dollarama. Man, what are we even? Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell people over there. Yeah, it's for the year. So thanks, Fabian, for putting that up for us. Very easy to double check. And again, I just. Part of it is, holding ourselves to the accountability.
You should put dark mode on, man.
Is it? I didn't.
So hold on, man. This is just for my eyes.
But remember,
I know we showed white charts, but I'm telling you, this is just so much for me.
Yeah, because the green stands out better.
I just feel like this is so much easier.
And I don't know how to do dark mode. Oh, dark mode.
You just hit the button. It's like,
this man put up dark mode on there.
Looks so much. That looks so much better.
I'm gonna do dark mode.
Didn't you find visually? Anyways. You know what? And I'll be real. Just if you're
that does look better.
If you're traders out here, look, we show you guys. You can see the white chart I have up right now of AVAV, because that's what I think comes across better on the screens. But when I look up and you see me looking at the charts of the stocks that I'm watching, I don't know if we have a shot for this. Do we? Maybe we don't. But so I look up at a screen, and this is where I keep some of my other 3-minute trades. You can kind of get an idea. I'm looking at black charts. Like, I keep my level 2s over here. I keep black charts up for myself. I just find it's easier on the eyes. It's whatever is more comfortable for you. And even if you like dark mode, sometimes you just got to do it. It's easier on the eyes. That's why sometimes I'll wear the blue light glasses in there. But if we just go back to, shoot, it wasn't Netflix that I was going to talk about. See, now I've lost my train of thought. No, I already talked about Netflix.
Palantir, maybe? I don't know.
Well, Palantir.
I just don't know what was on your mind. Palantir's not really doing anything.
Well, it is. It's kind of relatively strong.
Yeah, just in the last little while.
Oh, you know what? Actually, Palantir works back into the Netflix, what I was discussing. Like, sometimes you can pull back and give up only the prior day move, and people overreact because they see something like this. It's still, zoom it way out. Palantir has gone sideways for almost a month. It's been 3 weeks now. It's gone sideways. If you don't violate the bottom, there's nothing to freak out about with Palantir. Like, yeah, that's a heavy candle, but that's just because look what it failed. Now I wish I had zoomed out this morning, because that is a classic failed break level for reversible. What were you supposed to do? It happened so quickly, and it was already so far down. You would have to be on that level 2 for sure. But I don't think this is done. It still looks very nice on a stair-step pattern. So I think as bad as it was yesterday, or today, you got to still be thinking about that 50 period holding, that buy the dip into 151 area. Looks like we are. I mean, USO is literally not doing anything anymore, so it's really starting to slow down. That does mean for me, Boyle might have really abated here, and I don't know if we're going to press down into the low. So I'm trying to reload this one at 40 if I can, but we might just, this kind of is what it is, and we'll work with that. It's 320, so I should pop this over to the early look. Wasn't really expecting to see anything over $1 million at 320. It's kind of early. But there's this Sunbeam, which is there every day for $4 million. You have NU at $3 million to the buy side, NEM 1.8 million sell, SMR 1.2 million buy.
SMR.
Here's a name we haven't looked at in a while. All right, I want to see what SMR is doing with that 1.2 million. That's 10% of the day's volume. It's down 2%, not doing much.
SMR has been so disappointing.
It hasn't
been able to go. But Oklo had earnings and they didn't really go.
But look where it came to. This is full circle. Go back to April.
Circle?
The April low, I'm saying circle a lot today. The April low was right here, just underneath $11. And SMR pulled all the way back in. If there is a bounce, it needs to be here. And if it ain't here, then remember what we said about Webull when it lost 10 bucks.
Oh God.
If this, in my opinion, if this thing loses 11 bucks, I'll be interested again when it's my hat size.
Wait, what is your hat size again?
Well, I mean, suffice to say it's in the single digits.
Okay.
I think I'm like a 7.
I'm 7.5.
I'm like a 7, and it's like sometimes it'll be like 3/8 or a little bit lower. The thing is,
Depends on the haircut.
I was about to say, like, it really depends on, did I shave it all off, or do I got a little bit of extra going on?
Been there, done that.
It comes down. So I actually have a couple of hats. Because when I have some hair, I just don't like it being, I get a headache if it's too tight.
Okay.
I got too many Jays hats anyways. That's the only time you'll see me wear caps.
Yeah. You don't need more Jays hats there. Although I wanted that spring
World
training
Series
hat.
one.
No, I want the spring training.
You couldn't get the spring.
I know.
It's almost as if,
Although my cousin
so at
Tim was
spring
there,
training,
yeah.
you run out of spring training.
I know. It's because the Jays are just so damn popular, honestly. That's the problem. It's because they're Canada's team. There's only one team here. Yeah. So it's like whenever something goes online, things just get... I'm surprised they didn't have any there, but
like literally, we're in the diamond, and we go in the second inning.
Yeah, I know.
To pick my wife up, we're gonna get a couple, and they were already sold out.
Yeah.
The game just started. How could you already be out of the hat? Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then it is what it is. The opening day is going to be in a little bit. I just saw in the chat someone saying, first of all, Michael Mulvey just said the gray hair matches the sweater. I'll take that as a compliment.
Nice.
Because sometimes you just got to coordinate.
Yeah.
You know, rest in peace. Wow.
They don't even have them. They have literally all the hats. It's our 50th year, by the way, this year. And no spring training. This is I don't like that. That's like a huge World Series symbol there. I don't know. But anyways, they don't have the spring training hat on here. So the spring training hat is like this, and it has just a little grapefruit league thing there. Yeah. Okay. I'm always checking Fanatics website to see if there's anything going on there. And I don't think they'll sell them at Rogers.
No,
either.
it's done now.
It's a spring training.
Be able to get it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You might not be able to. Okay, if anybody knows location for those, let me know.
You can probably.
If you see them in the United States, send them over here. I'll do, what do they call it? COD, cash on delivered.
I just want to get one I don't want to have to pay through the roof, but I'd like to be able
I don't want to pay through the roof either. But hats nowadays are like 70 or 80 bucks anyways.
Yeah.
Like that's literally how much.
We have a lot of J's gear.
Like that hat would probably be $79.99 probably.
I mean, A, inflation. B, too, like things are just collectible.
Inflation, ever heard of it?
If people have people like collecting cards, they like collecting hats.
I mean, that's where I didn't realize. Like the most I've ever paid for a hat was like $25. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, man. How about a Hockey USA hat? Sure, you can send that over here.
A Hockey
over there. Joe wants one of those. You can go in there.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, they did not play well, USA, that game, but they got the victory.
They got the dub.
So shout out to that. And I just now want Connor. I want Connor Hellebuck to do really bad now because I want the Winnipeg Jets. Oh no, actually, I want them to win. I want I want them to do well because they need to overtake the Leafs so that we can have the bottom 5 pick right there. So. All right.
Oh, but just very quickly, because I saw some people talking about, ORBS. This was getting talked up by, I believe it was Tom Lee. And we're like, Tom Lee, what's this? He doesn't own this stock. He's talking it up anyways. So what I'm kind of seeing is from when the volume at VWAP broke away when we were starting the day, you have this higher low, that higher low, and a whole series of them into a triple top. I don't even know if we can. No, we can't short this anyways. It looks like it's probably pay for shorts. Is that the reason? Yeah, that's the rejection. We don't have free shorts on this, but it is holding trend into a flat top break with 30 minutes to go. Could break down trend and get to VWAP. It's about 10% down here in this ORBS. Or you could get a potential like top end break, but it's going to do something here. Oh, he's a board member of ORBS? Is that the deal?
Must be. I mean, if you're a board member, you're allowed to talk it up.
Look, I don't know. I was just like, people were talking about the stock. I mean, it looks great technically. So I guess he's a board member. We had KNT. Is that supposed to say something or?
KNT, that's the username.
KNT, I don't know. Sometimes I try to read something into it like it's supposed to be.
Forever. Not it.
One thing about Sean and Neil, much better than a married couple at the dinner table.
Probably
Left
true.
hand. Oh,
Probably,
I have to look at what that
probably
looks like.
True. All right.
That's because you can't do the emojis on that, so that's what.
I don't know what that looked like either. Okay, just quickly here as we.
My parents at the dinner table.
Talk back and forth.
My mom's could roll her eyes like nobody. West Indian woman could roll her eyes in ways that just don't even make any logical sense. When my pop.
Like your eyes shouldn't go that way.
Yeah, it's just, and when it happens, it's like you just done said something stupid.
Yeah, it's over with at that
point. Yeah, it's the moment to shut up. I know if my mom rolls her eyes like that, it's just okay. I mean, you're not going to say anything. My pop says some mess. We go back and forth all the time, but
yeah. You can't fight. Can't fight the. Well, I mean, especially if you're male, like maybe my daughter might be able to go back and forth with Marissa, but I just say, yep, you're right. Like, I learned a long time ago. Just you're right. Everything's 100% right. I mean, it's done with. I never know the answer to anything, and my family always does.
What?
So it's like it is what it is over there, and I'm happy to do that. That's for sure. She's making tonight. What's for dinner is chicken pot pie right there. So we got chicken dinner winner tonight. She's already told me that. My daughter's going away for 2 nights at a school sleepover thing, so she requested.
Like a school sleepover, like a 30-hour family thing, or?
No, it's like a sleepover, like at a camp.
Oh, like a camp.
Yeah, like a legit, almost like what you would do in Scouts. Like it's.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're going for
like an actual camping.
Yeah, like a camp.
When you said sleepover, I thought like a sleepover at the school.
That'd be cool too.
In high school, we had the 30-hour famine at our school.
Yeah.
Which was.
And then I think they like monitor you and make sure that you don't cheat.
They really
that
don't
probably
mess around.
didn't go well.
I rocked some serious. I remember when that was done, crushed some pancakes. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, didn't they give them at the end? Like
in my life, and pancakes weren't even that good, dude. It just didn't matter. Like, you're gonna tell me I can't eat for that long? I was crushing them. Anyways. If you guys know what's going on in the market here, it's not a heck of a lot. I'm going to show you.
The NASDAQ is flat.
Yeah, like here's us. This was the spike that we got that, obviously when Trump was going, and now you've held VWAP and you've gone back and forth. So unless we get some kind of a bigger breakdown, I want to try to hold for some lows on boils. See if we see anything that goes like that ORBS maybe. Even as I say that, the volume just starting to die in this. The problem is if it sets up the short, it's 330. I don't know about paying for shorts now. It'd be much more interesting if it could take out this top. Like just run the high, give it 5 cents and see how far it could go. I like the, it's a nasty looking, the daily chart sucks. What do you want me to tell you? It's not gonna look good, but it is a pretty big significant level. Like go back to, this would be the 12th, and it's got a double top potential breakout here in our ORBS. But it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't actually break out.
We are not, I am not going any more long on TQs. Like, so now I only have a quarter left. You know, we tried to trust ourselves there. We actually had an offer. Remember, we had an offer at 19, like literally goes to 19 there, and then stops. But so we did punch a little bit more out there at 10s, and then a little bit more here at 01s or 02s as we start to break lower right now to the downside. So I'm not going to reload this at VWAP. In my opinion, anyways, looks like we just tried to go and a complete failure of a move higher. I mean, normally you hit the VWAP and you can go back up to your 200 period moving average. The problem is at that time, the VWAP, everything was combined, which I really like. I mean, all these lines joining up, that's kind of something that is like kind of like a golden cross sort of for me when that does form out. But right now we're long at 92 with a quarter left. So, I mean, like I said, I can see the net. It'll be a very positive experience. But at the end of the day, if we break below the 200 period moving average, I just want to make sure I do have my stop there. Yeah, my stop's at 79. So if it does break below, I mean, that's when I put it out, was 85, 86. So it's still the same level. Just want to give it a little bit more room there back into the 80s if that goes. So my eyes are going up here. It's already 330. So we're getting close to wrapping this thing up. And we don't want to be at, this trade will settle itself out before 350. But as the imbalances come out, you want to start to be more and more cautious of, you know, your positioning and what will happen at 350. Like yesterday, remember we had NVIDIA long yesterday into the close. And then this happened, whoosh, all the way down there at, this is literally, like we were long and we actually had a good price. Like it was going to the upside there. Then all of a sudden at 350, it was like, oh yeah, about that. And we crushed right back in. So, you know, you got to be careful with that. Like nothing that, you know, you, me, or anybody can do about it. The market is what the market is. And at 350, those imbalances. There goes, by the way, their TQs, you know, which was at one point cooking, is now not. So, like I said to Brian, you know, getting in and getting out makes sense. Like we went short, we got stopped out, we went long, now getting stopped out again. But this stop out is actually pretty good because we only wound up having that 25% left, and glad that we at least discussed that with you. So that's what that is right there. I don't think we'll trade the TQs anymore. I went over to NVIDIA because it did hit on a scanner, and I don't know why it did that at maybe right into, no, I don't know, right at 325s?
Can't think of
or so. Oh, that's not VWAP in there. That's the, yeah. So anyways, I'm not sure what, that might have been a mistake, but there it is right there for NVIDIA. Yeah, not really giving me any signs. We like these little wicks down if those are true. I mean, trying to catch those are always kind of fun if you're able to catch those. But yeah, NVIDIA right now not doing the best of anything, just kind of hovering right there. If there are names or anything that you want us to cover, please let us know in the chat. We want to say a big shout out to everybody on TikTok watching us right now. Everybody on Kick. Is that something? Everybody on Twitch, I don't know. Everybody on Rumble, thank you so much.
Actually, a couple of specific shout-outs on TikTok, if we could.
Okay, good.
Cheer Me Up TX in the chat. There, and DJ Vinny earlier were getting some love. So I want to shout them out. And we appreciate all of our viewers out there. And this is what it's all about. Like, we're all here to just try to navigate the market the best we can. And when we do see something interesting, and I'm going to point something out right now, which is something we usually do, this Sunbeam, 4.5 million shares to buy. I just double checked. This stock hasn't even done 4.5 million shares.
Okay.
So the imbalance is 1.5 times the daily volume because it's done 3 million. It's just breaking an uptrend. So it's a buy imbalance, early look buy imbalance that did this yesterday going into the close. Like it ran $4 from 60, sorry, from, that's $3, sorry. Check that. From about 1 o'clock, it went from 65 all the way to 68, straight up. And it's been rallying again here, but it's breaking trend down, which I don't think is a bad thing. So maybe it'll drop, hopefully back into some prior highs. If this imbalance stays, and it's still 4 or 5 million to the buy side, and it drops in anywhere near to VWAP, I think I'd look for like just like a bounce play long, Hopefully you can ride it into 350 for a quick scalp trade, because that's a significant number. I didn't see any specific reason. Like, it's not supposed to be added to any index that I can see. Although, I mean, it's kind of behaving like maybe it is, but it's not that I was able to find. I'll give another double check on tip if I can find it. But this is on my radar for sure. Boyle, whatever, like I said, the market.
I have a new position.
Not really doing much of anything here.
Yeah, Apple just broke 252. So I was looking at that level right into here. It was some decent support. We broke that level. Okay, good. Coming back in. So right now we're short Apple. It's just a dime in the money right now. We can put something at, let's put 5%, 10% at 75s. There it is, a nice little break on Apple. Trying to make a move here into the close. We lost the bid on the TQs. Of course, on the NASDAQ. So now we'll wait to see where we're going with this one. There it is. So good. We catch a fill there. Sorry, you just might have saw it coming live. Right there at 75. So hopefully this will print a little lower. So we go right there, 90s to 75s, just real quick. Right there, 75 again, if you don't believe me. So there's the fill. We are now out of that. Not out of that, sorry, we're only out of 10%. Let's see if we can get a little lower here on Apple. And how low can we go? Nobody knows. That's why we play the game, right? So we'll wait and see where exactly we can go with this one. But Apple is making a move lower right there. And there it is, man. We'll go bearish on the name. We'll put another bid at 60s. And then we'll see if we can get it all the way to the downside. And we'll see if we can hold. We'll get 10% out at 75, another 10% out right there at 70. We'll try another 10% at 60s. And then see if we can hold it all the way down, as there's another trade breaking right now through your 200 period moving average and trying to go lower here into the close is Apple. So the NASDAQ breaks down, man. We switch our game up from the indexes over to Apple, and we'll go short right there and see what winds up happening. Apple right there into the close. We'll see if that can do something. There's Adara. Hey, Adara. She's back. Right there, and there's Neil and I as we get a new look.
Choose that.
Right there, we've got Joe to the left of us as well. So we say shout out to Joe. He's waiting. I don't know if Joe's got a trade on or not.
He's got the
trade, Joe. Yes or no? Trade on right now.
Brother, I'm trying to connect Algos to the.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you could hear that. He's got the Algos going. Okay, good. Okay, good. There you go. So he's there. It is right there. Spin it, Joe.
Money.
All right.
Get the Algo. Hold on, I gotta hit this one, Katina, man. You ready?
Yep. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Bites to bucks.
Bites to bucks. Okay.
The defunct segment that we had.
Yeah, but there it goes. Yeah.
Get Sean's head in Joe's body.
Yeah. That was that was scary over there.
Gotta take advantage.
Okay.
Ask me how it's going.
I got some ideas.
Ask you how what's going.
Yeah, ask.
Oh, how, Joe? You know what I was thinking about this? Like with not that much time left in the day, I was thinking to myself, like, what is Joe doing over there? And I was thinking, like, how is this Algo and how is everything going? I think I'm gonna take this opportunity right now to ask you that. Do you mind if I ask?
It's not going too good, brother.
Okay.
It's
I'm glad I asked.
Literal opposite of what I thought you were gonna say.
I need Jose from the back to come over here and give me a little hand. So. That's it.
Vibe coded, baby.
Get rid of this guy over there. Thanks, Joe. Always doing the best there with apparently not that much.
Algo segment name idea. How's it Al going?
How's it Al Goring, did you say?
Al going.
Oh, I know. Not bad one. How's it Al going?
Who hit the crickets? Who hit the crickets?
Fabian, man.
Fabian
over there.
You gotta be like that.
The Chilean nightmare over
hater.
All right, so there goes Apple, man, breaking lower. We like that one. Breaking through. Did I just hear a ding there again? Breaking lower. So
a lot of effect.
here we go, man. I mean, this is what we're talking about. There goes Apple. We found this one for you, sort of a break of 152, 252, not 152. Oh boy. And there it is, a nice downside play here for our good friend Apple into the close. So we'll see. An Apple a day keeps the longs away, I guess. I mean, Apple right now is still green on the day, so that's not why we're picking on it. It broke that level. It broke through the 200 period moving average right here on a 5-minute chart. It sort of did that here and didn't get too far away from it. That play was this morning. right off the open. I mean, we're not trying to look too much at technicals. That's 250.60 down there. It got as low as 249.60. So it gave us about $1 on that quick break on a 5-minute chart. So we just wicked down to 251.50 there. So, you know, gave, I guess, 40 cents. We'll see if we can get another piece a little lower than that. Just let's zoom out and see if there is a spot where we might get some consult. Well, all in here is very, very choppy. That very bottom, if we are able to get there, is 20s. So that would be sort of a lower look. I'm just going to put another 5% right now at 52s. Sorry, another 10%, and we'll sit there and see if we do get that 50 fill. You never know where this is going to happen. So we'll try it one more time right now on Apple. What's up, A?
More updates here with Iran. New York Times reporting that even though Tehran has denied that they are in contact with the U.S., they actually are talking to Washington here for a potential deal. So again, even though Iran has denied contact, we do have the New York Times reporting that Tehran actually is in contact here with Washington. We'll have to wait and see what happens when it comes to the end of a deal, but we've heard lots of reports and talks of a 15-point plan. Back to you.
The 15-point plan.
Like, what if it's only 14 points?
You need at least 21 points, minimum. 21.
It needs at least a few more points.
Yeah, but with that, you know what? That's enough of a headline for me. I'm just gonna. I just punched out. We're not gonna get the low of the day. Boyle doesn't seem to want to go any further, so I'm gonna punch out of that one. I want to look at this Sunbeam, and now, the one from 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? CDE was a buy imbalance, so that could be worth watching. But Sunbeam is pulling back at least a little bit. As I said,
there we go. Apple
shares is pretty significant, and it's trying to break this little bit of a trend down. So pull back off the highs. It's a buy and balance. It doesn't look like it wants to drop far enough into VWAP, but as long as this closes green and I want to run it into 350, then I'll try to grab it here at 69. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what they do. None of that's relevant. It's basically an imbalance trade regardless. Easy peasy with the super chat.
Oh, he's back.
Thank you, Easy peasy.
Yes,
You're back. Appreciate you. AI bot strategy, true social, no indicators.
Do you mind talking? Maybe I can hook you up with Joe over here. Is having some AI bot.
If you follow the president,
bot issues over
you
there.
You saw what happened when he just this week. If you catch the right truth, or allegedly 15 minutes before it even happened, there were sizable bets made in oil futures like 15 minutes before. So someone made a huge bet before the last truth.
Yeah, these guys are all funny.
But you would think that's not that difficult.
Funny business. Yeah,
if there was funny business. It should be relatively easy if there was any room propriety.
Yeah.
And there's been no evidence of any.
No, even when there is evidence, it's
people
hard
make pre-market bets all the time.
Hard to convict these days.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, right there on Apple, so there's another one. We'll put the money, spin that again on this one. Now 50 cents in the money. And we've done pretty good, man. We talked about what we did here on the TQs. We were able to get out of that one. And then we flipped up our game and went over to an equity. We found Apple with that move down. We announced this trade. I announced this trade. It was either against me or just as we took it. So good sailing here for Apple as we're now 50 cents in the money on this one. And again, like, you know, ask questions. We like to answer them. You know, whatever you want to do on the chat, please, guys, let us know because we're here for you. And that's what the whole point of the show is. So if there is any questions about any of our positions or how the day's going or what's for dinner or anything like that, just let us know there in the chat. I'd already said right into there that this was possibly going to be as low as she goes. And right now, that's kind of looking like it for Apple. I mean, we just, okay. Boom, there it is right there. Let's go, man, as we go bearish. Right there on Apple as it just comes through. We get that 30 fill right there. So, you know, we're talking about how low can we go. We are in exactly half now left of Apple as it's trying to bleed down to the downside. So traders got to trade, man, and we're sitting here putting out some trades. Just 4 symbols for me today, and negative on Palantir, as you guys know. We talked about that earlier. Looks like BMNR, that's only one trade, and it was in and out real quick, but wish we would have hit the short. BMNR might be the only sell or the only trade on here that sort of we've been looking at.
Only Amex.
Yeah, I thought that was Circle, but it's CCL. Oh, CR, we could take a quick look at CRM. Here as well. I'm going to get another piece out of Apple. I wonder if Apple maybe just touched sort of the lows there.
You're worried about your stomach, CRM's chart.
Yeah, I'm not. Not too worried about CRM.
Oh, it's bounced pretty decently off of the lows.
Yeah, no, it's
still,
oh man, it's right back in. And we had sort of talked about the resurgence of the IGV over the last little while there, and it does look like right now that has created some opportunities to buy. Yeah, I don't right back in. And if you like the stock, this is a good level for CRM. I do not, though, unfortunately.
Nope.
I wish I knew, like, if there's any of you guys out there that are in the business or anything like that, and maybe have switched off of CRM or HubSpot and into something that maybe was created by an AI or whatever. Let us know how your organization's been doing with that, because we do know that there's a lot of talk as far as how easy it is to sort of make your own CRM. I don't believe that to be the case, but that's sort of the bear case.
The market's not believing it either way.
No.
I don't even want to try to guess with this one. It's not close to showing you that it's done unwinding, and you're not at any another, like, you just lost the 200, so not 200 period, $200 again, so it couldn't break out from here. So where's the low? 120? I don't know, 145? You're still downward trending, and the sentiment trade is not working for you either. Ja in the chat just said CRM monthly is 200, the 200 period is at 120. So the monthly SMA is at 120, and that lines up with December 2022 lows. Does that seem unreasonable? I mean, it seems unreasonable to me, but the chart makes it seem like that's what the price action is telling you, and the ball doesn't lie when it comes to that. So I don't think you can't doubt it here. Like, if you sit there, you can think that the market is irrationally weak in some of the software names and punishing some too much, but it doesn't matter. Your opinions. The ball doesn't lie with CRM. And I say as someone that I've owned that stock, I don't have much left in it, but from years ago. So not much of a change, as Sean mentioned, on the imbalance locator. Sunbeam still the biggest one out there. It's holding this 69 for now, but this is a trade to hopefully get a pop into 350, not the hope that it comes out in your favor. So I'm looking for that pop into the 69.5 going into the imbalance, which should go public in about 5 minutes. What we get, I mean, the early look is available to a lot of people. It's just, but when it goes public, that's when the world sees it. And oftentimes it'll come out a little bit smaller than the early look as people will pair it off. Adara?
Keep an eye here in SNAP. This one snapping higher into power hour as we do get a report from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that OpenAI will be discontinuing its Sora platform and app. Now, that's a video creation platform. SNAP apparently likes this story. Another story you could watch, given the short video content, is META. Meta not moving too much on this. Back to you.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know why.
Lost $5.
Why that would happen there for Snapchat.
440.
Yeah, Snapchat. I thought we did have a play on that at one point, like $7 or $8 up to 10 or 11 or 13 or something, but yeah, that chart over there is.
I got nieces and
is it broken?
Nephews that still use Snapchat, like.
Yeah, no, my family uses Snapchat. I don't understand what, but I guess they're not paying for it or anything. So yeah, I guess that's the problem. You can't monetize, and it doesn't matter like whether or not you have a million users or not. If you don't have the advertisers on there to support the platform, I mean, I guess people are probably finding better cost basis or value for your money as an advertiser with Meta, I guess. So. Okay.
Well, it's not like Meta's doing it. Or it's not.
I don't. Oh, if they're discontinuing Sora, what about Google then? Because Google has Nano Banana, which is already potentially better than Sora. I don't know enough about it to say that comment, but wow, what the hell?
Yeah, Google
sorry
lost
about that.
300, man.
What happened to Google? This is like this is a buy zone coming up here for me for Google. Oh no. The market is not well, man, right here. I mean, there's a lot of great names, like, whatever, it's only down 4%. I shouldn't, maybe my over-exaggeration there a little bit, but wow. I did not think that this was near 290. So there we go, but by the way. Nah. What's up, Jose? Here we go, another downside move here for Apple. I'm gonna put another bid. I mean, we said maybe 20 might be the end of it all. I'm gonna bid 15, see if we get away with it right there, and if we do swipe down and get it. Well, I only have, right now, only 15% left. I told you I'm trying to get out as we get ready for the dreaded imbalances, and I don't dread them. It's just for your positions, you don't necessarily want to be in these imbalances when they do come out. We had a good example yesterday, and because I'm short, that means it'll probably rip. Yesterday we were long and they tanked. I think Apple was a part of the sell. Yeah, boom to the downside. Maybe you know what?
Well, most of everything was.
I'm gonna hold it. Haha. I'm going to hold this and see if we get that monster move like we did yesterday on those sell imbalances. So I don't know what's going to wind up happening, but we still do have 15% left. So I'm going to put a bid somewhere that is potentially an area where if we go down 250, I mean, this little clump up there, I don't know what to do. 250.85, let's put a bid right there. If we get that, then oh boy, 250.86 is, okay? Don't tell anybody that we switched it. And we'll see if we can get that fill right there on Apple. But yeah, I really like Google down at some of those levels, man. I mean, that's the buy for me. Forget about it. I talked about what names I wanted to buy were Marvell. Marvell's already cruising. I don't want to buy it at those highs. It was Marvell. There's two other names I said the other day. Uber was one.
Uber couldn't break that 50 period. I'm waiting for
Uber had that bad news today, though. What was that news again on Uber?
Oh, it was... So
something about drivers?
When I read it, it was like tax evasion, or they weren't doing enough to prevent tax evasion from their drivers. Like there was something about the way that they were reporting.
Oh, NVIDIA.
No, Uber, if Uber can just break the 50-period moving average, I'm a buyer. And when I say break, not wick it, hold and close above a couple of days and then break out from there. No, I like the support. It's putting in these higher lows. I like the story. I already own it, but... You know, the last time I did anything with Uber was I sold some shares when it got added to the S&P 500. I haven't bought any or sold any since then. I think it's, I like the story there. But we have less than 1 minute to go. Do you have that story exactly?
I mean, all I have is a story from like 2 weeks ago on this. I looked into this. I searched a whole bunch of terms. I know Sharif mentioned it today, but I've seen before, like, stories mentioned during the time of the show that are a couple, maybe days behind. So I just want to mention that. I mean, I'm not seeing anything here, and I did look into it. I'll keep looking into it. If I get anything, I'll let you know. But this does not appear to be news from today. I also saw some articles about this going back to 2022.
So the one I saw, I'll read the tweet that I saw said, Uber accused of tax fraud and knowingly allowing participants to use others' personal info, causing false IRS reports. So if that's old, then it's not even that bad news at all. We got a super chat from Rushi, if we can throw Rushi.
30 seconds, yeah.
We bounces in like 30 seconds. We can quickly get to this. Thoughts on Meta here. Forward PE under 20 now. I like the valuation on Meta. There's no question about it. Like we did sort of say, like, allow it to get cheaper. But the thing about a forward PE, it's a forward PE. That means you're supposed to beat, and you have to meet that expectation next quarter. So, like, to me, Meta has always been a second half of the year for the next time I want to evaluate whether I want to buy it or not. And I promise you this, if a low 20s PE on Google is available and an 18 P is available on Meta, I'm taking Google 10 times out of 10. Because you have to pick and choose sometime what you like more than the other. If there's a better value on Amazon, then I'll probably pick them too. I own way more of both those names. I'd probably stick with that. Imbalances just came out here.
I don't see anything. I mean, I'm going to get out.
Oh, come on. That CDE just came out as nothing, so I'm just going to punch out of that.
No, it came out. What do you mean?
Sorry. Sunbeam was supposed to be 4.5, came out as 1.5. So I'll quickly show, when it comes out as significantly less, just take the pop that you can get. It went 40 pennies, great, because it came out 1/3 of expected. And then the one you don't take, comes out huge. CDE comes out 14 million to buy on CDE. This was there 2 days ago. Another big imbalance. Did it move? A little bit. So if you took this one, it didn't move that much. Someone's selling a bunch up at the high. So one worked, but it didn't come out nearly as big. If that had come out larger, that Sunbeam would have been much better. But yes, I don't know what CDE is. Core mining, I think you pronounce it. And that's a significant imbalance on the buy side. But nothing else is huge here. Chipotle, 1.2 million to the buy side there. Nvidia's a buy of 1.1 million. That's not a lot. What else we got? TLT, for what it's worth, 800,000.
Yeah, that's always.
That's nothing. BMNR is only 700,000 now. Google's a 700,000 buy. Adara?
I looked into this Uber thing. So yeah, about looks like an hour or so ago when, probably right around 2 p.m. when this was being mentioned, Bloomberg Tax, which I didn't even realize was a subsection of Bloomberg, looks like it's a sub-segment of their Bloomberg law. They reported that a lawsuit shows that, or reports that that Uber filed false tax forms for non-drivers. Again, this is a claim that goes back at least a week or two. So the story is not new, but it was reported as though it was new by Bloomberg Tax, which is apparently part of Bloomberg law. I just wanted to know the truth for myself because I was deeply confused. So hopefully this provides us with a little bit of clarity. A lawsuit kind of backs up older allegations against Uber with regards to tax forms being filed falsely for non-drivers by the company. Back to you.
Okay. You can throw the super chat up there. I believe we have another super chat here, Andre, if you could. And we've got Okay, so this is new. You've changed your name, Son of Daniel Cheese Tycoon. So you know what? We love the cheese dispenser.
Yeah, the guy
company
made a lot of money on that.
You made a bunch of money on.
Yeah.
Was there news on Corning other than the Bank of America upgrade? 9% seems a bit rich on just an upgrade. I'm not aware of it. Adara's going to check, and this is what we have Adara for. She's absolutely fantastic. You're the best in the business. It looks great technically. Sometimes, look, let's be real. Like sometimes you can just have something which has been volatile, and because there's recent volatility, usually 3 or 4% turns into 8 to 9. Adara?
I don't think it's anything specific, but it looks like it. I forgot it was in like that fiber optic space, and a lot of these optic names have been hot. Lumentum's up like 9%. AAOI had its own catalyst. It was up pre-market. So I think it looks like a sector move. It is worth noting though. I checked this on social media. There are a ton of people tagging GLW right now. Like that is not a name that gets the type of social media attention. So I think social media attention is helping it, but I would say this is a sectoral play.
I think Corning just doesn't get enough love in general. I mean, how gorgeous is that chart? And I do think there's a technical aspect to it too. You bounce to 50 and then break out continuation play. So that you bounce the 50-period moving average. That's a clean technical break. Like if we were sitting here in the morning, and look, I wasn't looking at Corning, but if it's on your list of things to watch, I mean, who wouldn't have been? Like sometimes it's just a matter of pulling up the chart. Like look at how clean this breakout is over a week's resistance after a wipeout bottom. This is something I think we're going to talk about these types of setups and how you find them more often. And then at some point, what Joe is, I guess, struggling to do is he said himself, I don't mean to, but you vibe code or set some kind of a scanner up so that you can have this something automated to look for that setup. You're looking for a stock that's consolidating for 4 or 5 days. So I'm like, you're bouncing off a major moving average on the daily, let's just say, bouncing off a major moving average, and then giving you a consolidation level that can break out. So it's got the support that you want, and then it's got some kind of a breakout level that you can take at 9:30. And then all of a sudden, your algo spits out 30 names to you. You go through, you pick which ones you like the best, you set some orders at the open, and Bob's Sean's uncle, because I don't have an uncle named Bob.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, the indexes are here into the close, seem to be going a little oppo here to the downside as we close out the show end of the day. It looks like the NASDAQ being down 0.83 right now. The ES also down, well, only half a percentage point right here. Let's have a quick look at some of the big stocks out there right now. This is a quick look at the heat map for the S&P 500. See ya right there. Wow. I mean, this is the one that's, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard me say this before, but wow. Google was not expecting that to be down 3.7% today, but it doesn't matter what I expect, it is. Amazon as well, Meta, Oracle, Netflix, Palantir. I mean, not a great space over on this side, man. I mean, there's Salesforce, there's IBM, wow, AppLovin, everything downside. It's nice to see the financials holding out as well. If you take away sort of this tech services spot, then you're not actually that bad today. Amazon down 1.5, that should be over here anyways. Costco upside today, as well as Walmart. Home Depot down. I kind of like Home Depot out of all of these names, but Walmart was at 119, now it's at 122, so that's up 1%. I think that was probably a buy in and around that 120 marker, so good on you guys for that one. Target as well, Ross Stores, by the looks of it, doing also quite well. Energy names, I mean, I was really surprised at that little form that we put out that energy was not more talked about there and picked on your little chart there that you made up earlier. A lot of people were buying, oh, we canceled it. What was number one? Oh, Microsoft.
No, it was Microsoft by a long shot. It wasn't even close.
No, a lot of people want, that's what I was saying. I was surprised that wasn't more of an energy spot play there, as here we go. These are all the energy names. I mean, there's more of this, but EOG, CVX, XOM well outpacing CVX today, which is weird. Pioneer 4%, Valero 1 and a bit. What's Valero's price? 241. Wow. Let me check out the chart of Valero. Really like that name here. With only 3 more minutes to go. And again, thanks everybody for watching, especially everybody over there on TikTok. Thank you to that as well. Hit the like. Keep tapping the screen over there, apparently, on TikTok is what gets it going. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, man. 250 Valero looks pretty hot level there as well. So, yeah, really like all of these names in the energy space. XLE is what I choose, but you could choose anything. Seems like it's working out right now. XLE, just the ETF there for services. So, Valero right now up 1.5%.
We got one more well, who knows? Maybe we'll have more after that, but another super chat. We'll try to get to it right now. Birdman. It's the Birdman in the chat. GOW, AXTI, Light, PLAB, IPGP, AOI. Those are the must-have plays in your portfolio. All must-have. I mean, I think sometimes you could have one in a group that you like the best. Sometimes you don't need to own them all, but you can't really make an argument against it. One name that I promise you almost nobody has in their portfolio reports after the bell tonight. There's a few small names that report after the bell. One of them is GameStop. We mentioned it. Well, we all mentioned it.
People don't have that or do have that?
Don't.
Oh, don't?
Oh, come on. No.
I think a lot of people import.
You think so?
Yeah, post some ones in the chat if you guys own GameStop.
In our entire group of, like, say, high school friends, traders that I've known, or just anybody in like your some degrees of separation, I've known one person that owned the GameStop. I think, actually, no, two, because there was a trainee that I know bought some shares. I remember he said he bought shares. I take him at his word.
Yeah.
But that's off hundreds of people. So I don't think anybody. I seriously doubt.
I mean, we got a lot of ones. We got more ones than twos right here in the chat over there.
Okay.
Look at mad ones, man. A lot of people. A lot of.
But like, I mean, currently own GameStop. I don't mean like, did you have it during the meme craze? That's not the same thing. If you bought it during the meme craze when it was going nuts. I'm talking about, do you still actually own GameStop right now?
Right.
Not did you buy it and win on it 4 years ago, people.
Yeah, owning. I think people understand. Yeah, I mean, people.
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's a well traded stock, man. I mean, but anyways, yeah. I mean, good luck to everybody owning GameStop. And it's not, if you're owning it, it probably is a shot call. So, if you do have it, do you have the implied move for GameStop?
Oh shoot.
Did you?
Yeah, well, it's all good. It's that. I didn't check up the implied move. What I could say is it actually has been very solid off the 20 level. If it gives you a bounce play off 20 tomorrow, Mopar just said
7.1%.
7.1% expected move.
Mopar is loving GameStop.
I pity the fool that doesn't buy GME.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
That's obviously a joke. I just wanted to do the voice, guys. So we got 10 seconds until the market closes. Oh, it comes up on you pretty quickly there. Let me just cancel. I don't know why I have script orders still out. That's pretty useless at this point. As the market is now closed on this Tuesday, and GameStop earnings, which apparently a lot of you care about at the end of the day.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
There you go. He pities the fool, but and Mopar pities the fool that does not.
Trade the future.
Oh. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, here we go. Go back to the futures. I mean, as long as I'm here, we'll be trading that. And as I said today, only 4 names, and we just put Apple in the blotter right at the end of the day. That's going to be a good one there. Palantir early, not great. So that's Palantir right there early. Here's our TQs, man. I mean, it was fun. Oh. We went short, then we went long right there. And then we have Tesla. So only 4 names today for me. Adara, what you got?
ARM. Popping higher here. ARM, I just heard in my ear, apparently the company sees $15 billion in sales from their chip unit over the next 5 years. Now, ARM did have its ARM Everywhere event today that actually ends at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so it's still ongoing.
Oh, no, he's just saying OpenAI has Spud.
Okay. That's why Snapchat moved.
Oh, okay, that's that.
Yeah, that was with Sora there, right? Is something called Spud?
I love.
Is that what I heard?
I'll tell you this right now. Can we just back to ARM for a second, because it is actually going to be green today. This stock, I'm telling you, whenever it gets underneath $100, it's just been the consistent buy zone. The only flip side is when it gets to $180 or in front of that, you got to ring some register, because it's been holding that very, very clean. But I do expect it can do another one of its jaunts back up. Love some ARM. We'll see how it does tomorrow. GameStop, again, 7%.
ARM just up 20% in like 10 days. So, I mean, all these names are just wild. Well, I was looking at 140 as the break there.
Yeah, it could be one to watch tomorrow after they had that event today. We saw how good, so there were individual names within the chip space that were fantastic today. Not all of them. It was very, very stock specific. I expect it'll be more of the same, more keeping our ear to the ground, more listening to Adara, more Midday Madness, more Joe's API, which will be working. Oh, that's not good, GameStop.
Pity the fool on GameStop right now, but we'll see. A little bit of a swipe down, but not much going on. GameStop, again, you know, we've already been to 22.50 today. That's where it is right now. So they reported 22 cents, GameStop, in earnings. I don't know. Estimate was 31. So 22 versus 31 right now. GameStop trying to get a little, GameStop trying to get a little lower right now. So there it goes.
They missed the sales. 1.46 was expected, 1.1. So they missed by 25% on revenue.
Well, it's a good thing they started that Bitcoin treasury. That is not going well either, I would imagine. So, but who knows, man? I mean, GameStop, we'll see. Right back to 22 and change. Not a dramatic move. And you know what? The key is actually to be down on earnings, and then that way you can rally.
That way you can
the very next day. You never want to be up on earnings. That has not been a recipe for success. All right, let's get out of here. All right, thanks everybody. Adara, Fabian. I always look over there. Andre, I don't know why. They're all the same three people. And Ramin, and shout out to Brendan. Thanks, Adara. And Joe, man. I don't. Did you get that Algo going, or?
We're almost there, man.
Almost there.
Getting there.
Okay, he doesn't sound that happy over there. All right, man. He's going to get Jose to help him code it in there, but there goes ARM through 141. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow bright and early at 8 a.m. Man, that kettlebell, my arms. See ya.